world, US and ancient, as we have been. So I don't know, very excited for this one, and I think there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's trying to think what a good one to start with. Maybe we go with this Romano-Gallic Antoninus, but we've got a, I think, fantastic selection. Oops, actually, I realized that my setup here is, need to get a little less light that we can see the coins a little bit better. Oh, there we go.
Do you want me to get the other one?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Even just that one. I think the other one is fine. And we'll just start this for $1 start, but hope everybody's been doing well. Nice, again, Gallic, they broke away from the main Roman Empire, has a fantastic obverse here. The reverse is not quite as nice. Posthumous, he would have been a, ruler not long after Posthumous, and you can tell that it's Tetricus the First with his beard and everything. Nice win, I think quite affordable at $9, well won. There's also a bunch of different, you can trot out some world silver. Curious, this is a Saarland commemorative, and so let's see, maybe I will try actually. This one's interesting. Elizabeth von Tullingen. I'm curious what the silver price is on these because I think it could be kind of high, but I'm also going to be looking for requests in the chat. Good to see you, Jay Matz. How's it going? Let's see. Silver melt on this is 1931. I paid 22. I would actually lose about $1, but it's an interesting 10 euro, more modern commemorative, with a very nice strike. Good stock. And the Shipwreck coins, it really depends which one. Classic, I feel like the intro is going to be the East India Company. Those I can start at like 28 for a folio, but there's some much more expensive ones that are going to be, $400, $500 somewhere in that range. So just to call some of that out. It's not going to all be the same, I guess. This one, I haven't sold any of these in a really long time. Super nice, interesting Tenpo Tsuho coin. And so I'd start it for about $9. These were Tokugawa Shogunate early Japanese 100 mon and pretty nice condition. These have been, I think, quite requested for a while. People interested in the Japanese items. And so these have always been popular and interesting. And, again, nice 100 mon, large planchet. Drasgo going to win that one. Congratulations. I have a couple more here, and I wasn't shocked to see them. We might go sudden death. But, these are just always super popular. And, not something I've been able to offer for a little while here. So one of my wholesale sources, had offered me a small group and figured gotta snag them. I'm trying to get more Boo and Shoe on the way. I was able to use up some of what is the last of my stock. I only have 2 more of these here, and again, as other people have requests, just let me know. But again, tried to pick out some pretty nice looking examples here, with relatively clean surfaces. This one, has a couple of nicks. Obviously, these circulated, but very elegant coins, and that's very nice of Peter. And surprised that one didn't get a bid, but we can always come back to it. There's, again, a lot of cool U.S. stuff. We have some interesting better date Indian coins. We have some nice Morgan dollars. Let's see. This one was just 1 second here. Gotta rearrange a couple of these. We have a bunch of cool Jetons that I'll be excited to offer. but again, nice Morgans. Let's see, what is this? Okay, that one's a more expensive French Indian type. Why not try one of these? I paid 14, so I would ask 17 for it. A better date half pice. This is early British India, but beautiful copper of King George. Very nice condition. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Super nice date. Only about 25 years till there would be independence. And a fantastic look. That one did not get a bid, which is totally fine. And then, Jason, I just saw your email. The Boo and Shoe are still on their way in terms of what I have in bulk. This would be about 25, would get me back to what I paid for it. But a really nice condition 1919 rupee. Basically Unk 90, I think it's like 91.7% silver, but like, yeah, really, really solid looking. What's going on, Mark? French Colonial. It's the French Indian. Yeah, I have some at the Mahe Mint as well as Arcot Rupees silver soda. And so I would run each of them where I could make about $3 per coin. Hopefully they'd bid up. For example, let me pull the French Arcot. These would have been, oh, maybe I didn't. Okay, there's a couple more coming. Alex, I don't think we need to. I have double uploaded any of the WX42s, just so you know.
Okay.
So this would be a rarer type. Again, sold 3 of these last show, 17 the prior show. Beautiful Ahmad Shah Bahadur French Colonial Arcot Rupee. And then again, the others will be at the Mahe Mint. And we can always come back to those. Let's see what else we might have. Do we have any of the Doctos? We also have some interesting. Okay, first we can try. This is an Annam Vietnamese Emperor Gia Long cash coin. Or 7 fan coin, not cash, but a zinc 7 fan. Quite interesting. This is like under an emperor, obviously, so decently older, and just a curious item. Was super pumped to pick a couple of them up. They're always interesting, and very neat characters. I'm not exactly sure where the Gia Long. I need to get more familiar with the Vietnamese and Chinese characters, but super interesting types, and have always enjoyed. Just trying to learn more, get new inventory in. That one sold for 14. I have a couple of other ones. Sudden Death, this one at a 9 start. Would not be shocked, obviously, if it bids a little bit higher, maybe a bit similar. But try to, offer what I do have. And then we have some great French Jetons. I brought a ton of different Jetons, a lot of different neat types on that front. Nice win for Mildoon. And that sounds good, Mark. Can you keep reminding me about that? I'm going to just run these other 2 with 15-second starts, and then we'll pivot over there. But again, super, super nicely struck Annam type, and want to make sure I know that there's a couple different bidders on these. Obviously bidding up past 9, at least in previous. On that one, just stay at 9, so maybe I'll leave the latter one, and we can jump right into AD 1710. A little bit more expensive there, which is hopefully okay. I would probably start this for like 99. And I think that this one could be like a 30-second no sudden death situation. Earlier Denarius with a very nice helmeted head of Roma. I'm not sure. I don't have a weight on it, but would be Alex, could you bring over the scale? I think I saw it in your bag. No, there was one that Alex had brought over. It's like a little black scale. We can just weigh it after we're through. But I think it's too late. Okay, apparently the scale is not calibrated. No problem, Alex. But yeah, I feel like go a little fast often, and maybe I need to slow down and get the full weights and everything. But we'll go dollar start on this one. AD 1704 sounds good. This is a 1570 to 1850 Nawanagar princely state docto. These would have had a frozen Hijri calendar year back to the earlier part of that, but they'd be struck a long time after. Oh, gotcha. That makes a lot of sense, Mark. And so, let's see. We got one more of these that we could run. Maybe we'll do 15 seconds. This one is nice. It's like middle. I think it's kind of like middle of India. Not too far south, but again, a lot of interesting Indian types. And somebody asked for 1704. It's a small chip. Oh, but that's a really cool classic. Hercules struggling with the Nemean lion. Let me pull that one as well. Be a similar, probably like 99 start. A little chip on the edge just up there, I think. Nice serrated denarius. And these are some of the good ones. Again, fighting the Nemean lion. Very, very nice denarius coin. Roman Republic is just fantastic. Fantastic items. Oh, sorry about that. Went a little bit out of focus there. Just a huge fan of that. Congrats. Nice win. Let's see. And then what are some other ones? We could run. This one's quite nice. Also 99 start. Good looking. Mid first century or second century BC, about 132 BC. Aburius MF Genius. Tatum Illify. Going to start on that one. And, oh, that's a good one. Everybody's after all the good stuff. Which does not surprise me at all. Nice win for Tatum. I think actually going at a pretty affordable level there. We'll do one more of these, and then we may... This one's early, 151. There's a banker's mark right in the middle of it. We'll give people time. I doubt that people have this one. Cornelius Sulla. Would this have been Sulla's nephew? I thought Sulla was a little later. Fantastic obverse as well. Really high quality, well-struck coin. A little bit of a hit in the field there, along with the banker's mark down there. And very open to hanging on to this one. Curious where it'll bid to. Oh, they recycle. Yeah, it could be from a similar family. And dang, 99 bucks is the max there. Maybe we shift back away from some of the ancients. Keep going through some of the awesome world items. Prior one bid to 30. This one I might argue is even a bit nicer. Oops, and if the payment doesn't go through, be happy to hang on to that one, but also will give Midwestern Coins an opportunity there to make the payment, but very okay with hanging on to that one. Let's see. That one's going to go to DJSC. Let's think through what other items we might have. I'm seeing a couple of interesting Jetons, maybe. There's other new world types that we haven't offered too much of. Oh, this is a Comitia Burgundii. These ones certainly not going to have a sudden death. Beautiful 1782 Jeton of Burgundy. Thanks so much, Alex.
I can't find this one anywhere in the dock.
Okay, let me check it out. Thanks. Maybe Huh. Cool. Nice luster. Beautiful coin, and maybe something that we'll hang on to for the time being. And then we could also try a couple of US items. This is like around the 1850s. Merchant advertising token. Why don't we dollar start this one? It's kind of like a Civil War / hard times token. In fancy and staple dry goods by the Union Store of AYs. Competition defied without any exception. By the Union Store. 185 6th Avenue, New York. $1 will be paid for 99 of these tokens. So that's exactly showing how these would work. Beautiful shape, actually. I think 19, quite a appealing price to be snagging some of those. And I tried to, go out basically and find a bunch of sweet US stuff. I'm trying to think. I just see in front of us, because there's two other coins that have that date of 1850. Now on this one, it's an absolute cap. And it looks like Midwestern did get in the payment as a heads up. So congrats, Midwestern. Looking forward to shipping it out to you. This one's a larger example, but again, 1570 to 1850, larger, from that princely state of Nawanagar. What's going on, Vault? Good to see you. Schultz coins leading. And I think we'll save the last one for later, but what we do also have is going to be, this one would have been struck in the Indian city of Baglana, citing Akbar the Great. It would have been struck a little bit after Akbar the Great's reign, but fantastic, interesting script. Struck up really nicely. This is the Mahmudi design. Again, about 300-ish years old, maybe a little bit older. And so log currently leading. We'll see where this one bids to. Mr. Birdie will snag it. Then maybe we'll do one more. And then we got to maybe try, take a look at some of those US items. That is exactly what we're working with there. Let me show the Vliegenhart biscuits. They're sweet though, and they I think they're actually not cheap. I mean, it's cool because they're so encrusted. But I paid just shy of 200 for them, so we'd be starting these at like 239 would be 229. Yeah, here's what one of these biscuits would look like. Kind of insane. You can see so much incrustation. These would have been at the bottom of the sea since 1735. And we have a Vliegenhart printout here. The Flying Heart and Dutch departed ramekins for East Indies, a northeast gale, springtide, and pilot error put her in a sandbank. So one of the cooler shipwrecks I would say out there. Obviously 30-second start. You know what? These, I know that they're from the Vliegenhart. These, I'm not sure. I mean, these are with the COA. These, I'm not sure if this is technically a COA or not. This is from the seller and printout. I'll have this and I'll include, I have some COAs elsewhere. But yeah, beautiful. These are this is the full thing. And so that one will go to DJSC. I need to make a quick note of that. Just to make sure we've got everything. Oh yeah, here's the COA. And we can do a little bit of shipwreck stuff, but I just need to make sure that I note on the outer. Here's the COA. Should have shown that earlier. I have one. I bought two of those biscuit type items, and I've got the other one as well. But just forgive me. I'm gonna take a moment here to make sure that I have it in a clear little baggy. And so, yeah, no, they're real sweet. This one is for you. If people would like, I have one more available. And so, let me just, I'm going to snip, make sure that that one is clear as to which one it is. I could run the other biscuit, or I can hold it. Again, I only have one other one, so it's not like there's that many. 560410. And then here's the other one. And it will have the official COA as well, not just the, it'll have this. So let's try it out. $239. The Nerva is a high dollar start. Slab Shipwreck, sure, would be happy to. Though we will offer this other one. I can't tell if you can see the coin peeking through. Not really. I mean, it's fascinating. It shows how on all these shipwreck, you really need restorers that do a good job de-encrusting all of them. Super interesting. Again, bottom of the sea for many, many years. I'll be hanging on to this one. Would not be shocked if somebody comes along later and wants it. Slab Shipwreck. Let's try some of the big slab shipwreck, or we can do some of the medium. I mean, let me just look up what I paid. I know it was not cheap, and what people want for one of these conception shipwrecks. That's a more famous one. NGC 8 real. You can buy a nicer looking one on eBay for $650, and then I see a similar one is currently available for $525 on eBay. So I think this one would be probably, if that's $525, my guess is somewhere in the 400s. But let me just check. I think I would try this one for $439. Try to undercut by a good amount. I guess yeah. That I think we'll try it at four. But one just sold for $640. Another sold that's a little nicer for $1250, and so maybe $449 is right here. Let's try it out. $449, Conception Shipwreck, beautiful 8 reals, NGC encapsulated, super solid, and again, well back of any of those eBay comps. So yeah, beautiful type. And this one would have been shipwrecked, I assume, somewhere in the early 1600s. I'm not exactly sure when the conception went down. Fantastic to have NGC's, encapsulation and stamp of approval on there. 1641. Good to know. Thank you. We've got, I'm trying to think, and I know that these are expensive, so it's not like every one of these will, move. But this one is a Maristine. I see, a tough looking half ducaton sold for $700, $739. I mean, a sea salvaged brutal looking one, seems cheaper as well. So let me check what the Maristine ran me, and then I can back into what I can offer it at. This one was more expensive for me, so this one I would need $499 on. And then we can do some like the Vliegant Heart, like a cheaper one too. I don't want to be, scaring everybody with expensive stuff, but it's fun to show off some of the goods. You can see the ruler there. I think it would be Philip IV, in Immaculate Conception. That's funny. This one and had relatively in nice state of preservation. You can see the lion and the crest on the back. And so, yeah, it's tough. I mean, these ones certainly, I feel like they're a solid deal relative to, and congrats to Mark Marr. Nice win. We'll make sure to pack that one up. Really nice. let's see. Ooh, we have some beautiful Campen shipwreck as well. This one's going to be from 1617. I think that sunk a bit later, but this one's probably like a 449 start. Actually, let me just make sure that they're not way above what's on eBay. Campen shipwreck. Okay, so some sold in the range of 425, 495 for genuines. So, but they're all off the market on eBay. So this one we'd try around. Let's see. This one would be, yeah, right in the middle of that range. Actually, why don't we just go for the cheapest that was on eBay, even though the current most expensive is a lot higher than that. Beautiful. Looks like kind of that Lyndalder design. But again, it's just even fun to show these items off. Think through some of their history. So nice. And yeah, no, exactly. It's a fantastic item. And we can always come back to them. I feel like I'm absolutely not expecting those to fly off the shelves. Why don't we try some fun, cheaper shipwreck stuff, though? Like one of these East India companies. EIC, this should be... Oh, where did I put it? Maybe, did I not upload? No, here they are. We'll do this one for $1 start. These both were shipwrecked in 1809. Yeah, in 1809. Beautiful example on the 20 cash, as well as a nice 10 cash. You have some Farsi or Persian script on the back. You also have the British, script, and I think likely to bid a fair bit higher. And also, when we're thinking about affordable shipwreck, I feel like this is a great example. And so that one will go to Brandon Farr. Let me... Jim, could you do me a favor? I think...
Yeah.
Or is Alex out?
He's not.
Could you just label these like this way? It's like number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Then I'll cut them up.
Yep.
Thank you. And so this one, let's see. I think 28 start is where I want to, at least be on these ones. Oh, that's awesome. Very glad to hear it. This one is not quite as nice looking, but has some interesting, more prominent toning, I would say. And again, you get both of the items, so you get a 10 and a 20. Clear lines, and it's been at the bottom of the sea. That's really what they look like. And so that one will go to DJSC. Do you put number 2 on this one?
Yeah.
Thanks. Really appreciate it. Let's see, though. We've got WX50 106. This one's a really nice 1733. I think these Jetons could be... I'm so glad to hear it, DJSC. This one's a particularly nice Village of Paris Jeton. In a fantastic, you have a nice seafaring ship design. It's a comparatively large one, and it talks about, let's see, Toureau près au Rec du Pal, de la troisième something of the mayor Mish Eti. Thank you so much, Jim. So really, really nice. And trying to work to get a couple more of those Jeton types. If you want to start on the Jetons that are out, that would be great. I feel like I'm always looking for more of those. I don't know that we'll be able to upload them for today's show, but we can try to get them for next. This one's earlier. This one's going to be at a 1701 dated Secrétaire du Roi, of the king, with his great sun and bee or insect scene. And then Ludovicus Magnus Rex, that's King Louis XIV. Athenian owls, we have a couple of them, but not on us. I wish I had them, but yeah, again, they're not with me, so unfortunately don't have them ready to go here. but we hope to have them ready this summer. Send a couple off to braiding and that kind of thing. And then this one, also a nice one. Oh, this one, again, seafaring type. And then we have a couple, like, 1800s instead of 1700s Jetons that I wanted to offer. Again, beautiful Ludovicus Magnus Rex Procureur de Comte. I think a nice nice coin. Let's see. Do we also have some interesting... Okay, this one is a blank planchet mint air penny. And do you know which SKU to go with there, Alex?
Oh, is it 51? Or is it...
I think 51's good. Let me just check. Don't want to give you bad advice. Yeah, 51 would be perfect. Once you're out of ones on 51, actually, I'd be curious. We can do a little time test. It's like 10 right now. RC coins, Mildoon. These ones are interesting. I feel like penny slightly more common than some of the other ones. Nice win for Jay Dizzle. We've got a couple more. The other ones, basically, we have to start for a little bit higher just because, you'll see, like, this is actually a Roosevelt dime, and it hasn't quite been struck properly, so you see a little bit of the... And this one would start for, like, 12. But you can see that clad layer, but it hasn't properly gone through the retaining collar. And so a little less common to see, again, the dimes. But you can see that, again, inner clad layer, how they always have that copper and, silver colored. Old foreign, we've got lots of them. Tons of them. Be excited to offer some. That one will go to J Dizzle notes. And then, let's see, we've got also a quarter. It's going to be at a similar level. And again, it's almost like a partial collar error, which is pretty interesting. Where obviously it hasn't been struck in the collar, so it doesn't get the reading, but you can see that split. So again, actually relatively uncommon. I would estimate that this one would be, a little bit on the older side. Obviously it's not silver, but certainly cool type. J Dizzle gonna win that one. I guess I can run the other one since it looked like I only have one other of those. I also have a dime. But let's see, this one would be, where is it? Here's the other one. I could, doesn't mean that it has to not bid higher, but yeah, lots of old foreign. Just let me know what you're interested in. And if we want a dime as well, I also want to make sure, I expressly have been looking for nice US type so that I can try to, work with some of that. Nice one for Mildoon. And so let me just make sure again, paid the lowest from a wholesaler here. So I paid this one. I would start at about, it's real nice looking. $19, no sudden death. Quite solid type Goldens. Let me look for what kind of Goldens I do have. But yeah, very nice 3-cent nickel. Quite quality in terms of just the, the overall eye appeal, if that makes sense. And tried to go with some different dates. But in the US that I got today, just focused on like solid type coins, lots of different dates as well. And yeah, let me find a French 5 francs for us. 1866, basically coming right out of the Civil War, they're experimenting with the coinage. They roll out the 2-cent piece, the 3-cent the 3-cent nickel coin. They previously had a silver. And so it's an interesting legacy and time period for the US types. Let's try to find some of the 5 francs. Hercules, I don't think I brought any Hercules. I could have sworn that I had. Let me check. I might have done a late upload here. 23. Yes, I do have some Louis Philippe 5 francs. Just give me a second. Alex was very kind to pull a bunch of types here. I just need to upload them. So just give me a moment and we will get everything properly uploaded. And please, everyone, check out what coins we've got, and I'll try to upload them for us pretty shortly. Lysimachos tetradrachm. No, I sold a good amount of my ancient stuff. You know, I still have some obviously that I'm buying, but oh no, what's going on here? Line 29 is too long. Oh, this one's gonna be a bit of a pain. Okay, this. I don't have the French right now. Alex, can you quickly go in and edit? Make sure all of these are, I'm going to text you a link. Make sure all of these are sub 100 characters. All right, so we're going to work to upload these ones. In the meantime, we got to have to, what year is this Morgan? Let me see. I think it's 1888. It sold for like 65 in the last show, and the person didn't pay, bummer, but we're starting them at 45, so let's just see where this one might bid up to. Nice 1888, kind of slider condition, but pretty nice and lustrous Morgan silver dollar. And my more Roman Republic, sure, Technic. Wish the person had paid for it, but also always pleased to give somebody, you know, what might be a decent deal. Roman Republic, we've got an El Priscillius. This one, everything has been selling at above, at 99 or up. This one, maybe a little less. 89 would be where I'd aim to start this one. You know, very decent. Yeah, I'm not the biggest specialist in the Morgan, so often it will go quite attractively. But you can very clearly see the Monnier El Priscilli and what looks like somebody walking with a spear in hand. And then we can, in the meantime, it looks like we have a couple of the Leopold Belgian coins. Silver keeps rocketing up, it seems. Start this one around 32. Slab Roman, sure. Nice looking 5 francs. Probably an old clean, but pretty nice looking. Slabbed Roman. Are there any, do you want the denarii or the cheaper? Denarii start at 55. The Roman stuff is going to start around, the bronzes maybe 25 or so. That's just kind of the breakdown on that front. Thanks, D France. Yeah, we have some nice. Again, we have a couple of those Jetons. Try to have them be affordable. Let me see where.
How do you check how many characters there are in a cell?
You do like an equals len and then put the cell in the parentheses. Equals len parenthesis cell closing parenthesis. And I would do that in a cell that's going to be next to it, but like well over. So maybe like column, you know, Y or something like that. Does that make sense? And then you'll have to delete out the lengths before we upload it, but I'll check. Here one, this is an Arcadius Eastern Roman Empire bronze coin. Arcadius would have been a ruler really towards the downfall of the Roman Empire. And so, you know, he's got a spear. It looks like a small little spear in his hand. Very nice example. And Nice win for Tiffany. There's also a Theodosius who I think was pretty instrumental in some of the Christianity that we, have and know today, whether it was the Nicene Creed being popularized over that of the Arian Creed. Here we see him on a galley with maybe a captive below Thessalonica mint. It says Gloria Romanorum. Super interesting. We can also go test out some of the denarii. That one will go to Brandon Farr. Let's see. This one is a Vespasian denarius, 55 start. Very, very solid. Widow's Mite, no, I don't. I need to get some more. But sold a bunch down. And so nice looking Vespasian, again, 1st century AD denarius. Quite appealing. And then right here we have a Hadrian denarius. Hadrian was also one of the 5 good emperors. So that kind of always has boosted his popularity a bit. Let's see, it looks like VEN, so maybe this is like a Venus type. Relatively strong detail. What's up, Alex?
Should I like the reference numbers?
What do you mean?
Like shorten it to less than 100.
Yeah. Definitely we'll have to shorten a lot of those guys. Let's see what else we could try. An Antoninus Pius here. He came in after Hadrian. This one has a cool handshake on the reverse, so I could see that type being a bit popular. Very fun. It's almost like a Caudicius. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, pretty intriguing reverse. There's also a Marcus Aurelius that we could run for probably a 75 start.
Okay, it should be good now.
Cool. Oh, it's totally good?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So here's the Marcus Aurelius. Again, often a popular type. Could you delete all? Here, let me. Actually, I should be able to do it. I got it. And that one will just go for the start bid. So I think very nice scoops for Tiffany. And let me upload that other group that I kind of alluded to for those who are interested in some of the French stuff. We also have, though, in the meantime, some of these nice VOC duets that have been slabbed, the New York pennies from the 1700s. This one is going to be a Gelderland mint. And so we tried to get a couple different mints, but that VOC East India Company classic look. And they were rumored to have been involved, I believe, in the purchase of New York. So that's where they come from. Here we've got El Cazador. These would start at right around, very nice example, more affordable, $49 start. And a super clear reverse. The Spanish Empire have always been popular, but definitely enjoy, offering them. Spanish Treasury, trying to think if there's other ones that we would have. We do have a full Real. This one has a really rough obverse, but I'd try to make $3 if I sold it at 75. The reverse is fantastic, which is why we picked it. Almost perfect reverse. It must have had one of the other sides in a clump, or really exposed to those C elements as it was at the bottom of the C. But a nice full Real. Middle East Mediterranean. We should have some stuff from there. It's beardy. Let me see. I feel like probably not tons. Let's see. We might have some Moroccan. We might have some Morocco. 500 francs. And so, where did I put them? Huh. I swear that I... Sorry, I really want to find these because I just freshly inventoried them for the show. Do you know, Alex, where a Moroccan, like...
You had on the desk before, remember? I uploaded them.
Yeah, I must... Maybe they're just staring right back at me. Oh, they're literally right there. Thank you for the reminder, Alex. I really appreciate it. I was looking at them and not seeing them. This would be like a $28 start. Very interesting kind of crown size. I think it's like a slight premium to silver at the moment, but Mohammed type. 500 franc, Hijri calendar year, 1376, 1956 over here, the Empire Chérifien. Super neat type. I'm trying to think of other Middle Eastern stuff that I might have. Nice one for Brandon there. Here's the other one that we have. Could see this one also bidding. The Dalders, which one are you thinking of? The Campen, I think, is 424. I have one other Merenstein. That's like a 499, I think. Conception is probably like 439. Nice one for retired Ron. Let's see, 47,161. This one would be like a $19 start. Greenland, no, but I would love to get some more. This one's an early 1840 British India or East India Company. Queen Victoria just started reigning 1837, and so this is a great early rule coin. I feel like I have a little less Middle East, but I have a little more on like some cool Indian types that I'd be pumped about. Icelandic? No, we have some Danish. We have some cool Danish stuff, but I think that's going to be the most northern that we kind of get. Here, this one's a little nicer shape. You know, probably old, clean, but a little bit nicer. British East India Company, also Queen Victoria type. There's a couple different types. This one's going to be 1840. Again, larger silver. It's always interesting just to see all the different examples that different places have, but that one, not going to sell. That's all right. Let's see. This one, 144. Oh, I could have swore that we sold this one. Yeah, we did. Wait, let me make sure. I think I might have messed something up here. Jim CC, are you still here? Important question for you. I think I may have sold Jim. Yeah, the 1883. Okay. I'm going to... Can somebody send him... Maybe I'll send him a note. I think I messed up. your Morgan. It was in 1883 that I sold you. I thought it was 1888. I showed the 1883, but ran in 1888. Would you like to cancel? I can sell you either coin, both in similar condition. Feel free to pop back in the show. Christian. All right, well, I think I'm going to sell neither coin, and then we'll see which one. Thank you for that call out, but we have some of these earlies. Let's see, this one will go WX 230338, 1840 Strasbourg Mint of Louis Philippe I. HID, starting this one out here. Nice win. Let's see. We've got a couple more. These are actually pretty nice. We have a couple of these. This is a Trajan denarius. You can see that SPQR. Super clear on the side there. Very nice look to it. Richard, graded, like, are you looking for graded Roman Imperial or graded US? There's a couple graded US coins, so I don't have tons of them. Super nice. We've got, this one is a really solid looking Trajan. I'd say it's even a little nicer than the last one, but we'll see where it lands. I'm not going to increase the start price, just super clear strike. And you can see the lettering. Let's see what that says. Trajano, Optimo. Oh, the VF Ancients? Sure, let me see what... We have a Pius denarius that I think is like... I'll try to make sure it's the cheapest on eBay. Congrats. Let's see. This one... Antoninus Pius. I'm not seeing any Antoninus Pius. Don't see any denarii. I see some denarii in the 79 range, or not, excuse me, 79. Some silver stuff. The first denarius that I'm seeing maybe is like 95, so I think this one would be in a VF condition. I would have guessed this would go for like 109 or so, which I think is not too expensive. 109 would start that up. Oh yes, Jim CC, I really wanted to talk to you. I wanted to give you your choice of which coins to run. So basically I showed you an 1883. I said it was 1888. And so let me show you both coins, but I'd prefer if we could just figure it out here. I can basically cancel your order. Really nice VF coin. So I ran this 1883 coin, which you paid $49 for. However, I thought I was running this coin, which is at 1888. So you can have your choice, or we can cancel. So you can pick whichever one you want, or we can cancel. Feel free to let me know. I'd say they're pretty similar shape, but if you're after the 1888, that would be the one on the top. And so I just want to make sure that, I caught that and I was like, oh man, I think I, messed this one up. You need both. Why don't we then give you the one we said that you had bought this one, so it's going to be the most simple if this one you get, and then we'll run the other one for the same 45 start price, which would be this one. So The one that you're currently getting is the one that sold for 65 last time. This one has not been offered before. This is an 1883 Morgan dollar. Currently, you have the 1888. This is the 1883. Again, very nice shape. AD 1702. Sounds good, Ars, right? That would be like an 89 start. Oh man, E-Rex is going to get that one. I feel like they're definitely highly sought after. We can run a couple of other nice Morgans though shortly. This one is L. Procilius, and you can see that L Procili. Super clear. I'm glad to hear it. Awesome. I just wanted to make sure that we had really good communication on that one because, you know, I care a lot about making sure people are well taken care of. Nice win, Ars right. Let's see. Here we've got these ones I paid 21 bucks for, so I'll start them around 25. Nice condition 2-cent pieces. You know, again, can always try to get away with selling real low grade stuff, but I tried to pay up for like pleasing type examples. So, you know, very interesting denomination, obviously. And I tried to just go, in case people are doing a year set or doing kind of a type set, like what would be coins that would be like decent to look at in your type set, and trying to make $2 on them. I'm glad to hear it. I really, you know, try hard to get fair pricing for people. You know, it's such a good hobby, and it really helps me, you know, basically grow my collection. So I get to, you know, go along and keep something every once in a while. Here's a Louis Philippe minted in Lyon, 1832. Also do some of the other Roman denarii. But I don't blame the dealers. There's a lot of overhead that they have, and it's just tough to hack it. This one has a pretty solid reverse. I'm not sure exactly. Does it say something like Republica is my guess? But the obverse portrait of Hadrian is really nice on it. $55 Hadrian denarius. Hey, what's going on, Miller Ancients? How are you doing? Miller Ancients, run by Spencer Miller, would definitely follow him. He's got some great, a lot of really nice high-end coins. Has a great website and eBay presence as well. So would very strongly recommend. Here we've got a nice shield nickel. These ones I paid 27 bucks for, so I'm going to start these at 33. Try to get that 10%. And again, emphasizing nice eye appeal. You can really clearly see the date. You know, rims are all intact. Almost looks like a little bit of a die chip would have happened on the cents or something there. Thank you. No, we've got some really fun Shipwreck. I feel like that's been something I've been emphasizing a bit more recently. I also see a couple of cool different silver boo that we could try. I'm kind of starting these right around 26 bucks, hoping that they bid up. These were struck and minted in Edo, which is Tokyo. And so nice win for Deckmaster. Let's see. Here we have a really nice. This one's almost got some faint toning on it. May start it for $1 more, but would not be shocked to get this one, you know, bid up a touch. Really interesting, and we'll see. There's the upside down Sakura in the bottom row. Fascinating, really cool. Nice little chunky Japanese silver item. Nice one for Erex. And then right here we've got another very nice, this one's more of like a golden look, but quite reflective. Nice eye appeal. Yeah, absolutely, DJSC. Those ones, the ones that I still have, I paid a little more for. Like, I want to say somewhere in the 20s. So I think that that one would start like pretty high 20s range, which again, I don't think is egregious. But I want to, if you're seeing all this good pricing, if people are seeing good pricing in Baltimore, I don't want to. And yeah, I paid $25 and 26 cents on that. So I'd start that for $29. Let's see, we can do that. We can come back and do a couple of the boo as well. And I wouldn't be shocked to see these bid up a little bit higher. Good eye appeal. 1300s. There were Confederate coins, definitely. They're relatively rare. There was a lot more Confederate paper money, and actually what the Union did was to destabilize their economy. They would counterfeit a bunch of it and cause inflation by spending all of these counterfeit Confederate monies. And it was actually very challenging for the Confederate economy. Now we have a little bit, and that's a good point. I feel like the British, were always so tough because they would also not let us coin our own coins. So then they would send over all their underweight half pennies in the colonial period. And it really was challenging for us to kind of combat that. Nice win there. Both of those on the Livonian front. I think these other two I can sell for, okay, no, this one I have two more that I have to keep that pricing even at $29. And then there could be a couple that are a little less expensive. Really, I did not know that. Miller Ancients. I feel like I've been focused on a lot of world history, and so recently, when you go back to U.S. coins, there's actually so much cool U.S. coin history, and it's just so easy to ignore in favor of all the awesome Swiss stuff. Let's do this, and then we might go back to some of the Japanese types as well. Right here, we'll do a 20 or 32, excuse me. We sold a couple for 34. No sudden death here. Nice St. Jacob an der Beurs. I know a lot of the founding fathers also, I think, made a lot of money doing like land and bond speculation, buying them up cheap from some of the farmers. Now that might have been some kind of propaganda. So the Conception, I'm offering those for $4.39 Canada. So let me show that coin. And let me make sure. I think the cheapest on eBay is about $5.25. So fair bit cheaper. $4.39 on the Conception Shipwreck. Could also do some Vliegend Heart, which is going to be a lot less expensive than that. Oh yeah, that makes sense. But beautiful, again, 8 real Conception Shipwreck. You have that fantastic Spanish colonial cross. Love the shipwreck effect, and obviously important from my view on a more expensive one like this to get that shipwreck certification. NGC is kind of the best in the game on that front. So any hard times tokens? I think we do have some, yeah. Absolutely, we've got some nice hard times tokens. We can run some of those. Maybe we'll shift over, figure out if there's any of the Vliegend Heart. I just have to figure out where I'm storing them. This one is cheaper than some of the prior ones. It's part of a ducaton. In the past, we've been selling these well into the, hundreds range, but this one's a little cheaper. It's a full ducaton, and you can see a great amount of the horse and the warrior, but it's a bit of a fraction as it's been sitting at the bottom of the ocean for quite a long time. And so I was able to get my hands on basically some nice examples, but in the past I picked the crazy ones that were extremely nice. Now I'm like going with some of the ones that are a little more affordable, but I'm not shocked at all to see that one bid up. Nice win for DJSC. Right here is a similar type. There's a little less definition than the prior, but a little bit more planchet. So, I brought, I think, this one and then one other. And there you can see again, that looks like riding along on here. There's like the horse's, hind, the warrior, and then this side is the reverse, and then we've got one other as well that we can offer later if people are interested in those. What's going on, Big Art? Back to some of the Japanese. These were bidding into high 30s. We're going to keep them as is, $27. It's been a little tougher with the US currency weakening, but still real fun to get a lot of the great Japanese types ready for everybody. And so Jeremiah, who Jeremiah? Do I have a Flying Eagle penny from 1856? I wish I did, but unfortunately that's not in the current Treasure Town inventory. But we're trying to work hard so that we can be offering that type of material someday. We might do this. We might do another boo. Then we still have some of the Tenpo Tsuho, which we hadn't been offering for a long time, but we were able to get some back. The earlier ones sold in the teens. Might even sudden death some though. $1 sudden death. That one's a particularly nice example. 550103. Oh no, come back into, that's beautiful. Whereas the upside down Sakura, it looks like in the top left. This one is cool. Obviously we don't have, and there's a pre-bid on it from Chicken and Donkey. $1 start, but this is a great 100 Mon Tenpo Tsuho Tokugawa Shogunate from the early to mid 1800s. And only a couple seconds left. Wow, that one's just going to land at 10. Congratulations to Chicken and Donkey. We've got one other example. I guess we want to start at least at 9, but 9, 10, that's more towards that break-even range, but sometimes that's where it lands. Let's see what else we might have still. Oh, we have one of these nice Yalong 7 fan, which is always like an interesting denomination. Big Pappy, wow, good pickup. Can $1 start this one? The earlier ones bid up fairly considerably, but this is the Emperor Gyalong Zinc 7 fan coin from Annam. Early Vietnamese type. Oh, and we have a cool Islamic Malaysia example. Mildoon, nice win. We've got some Nawanagar Dokdo coins. This is the last of those earlier, but actually pretty nice inscriptions and clearly struck, kind of a chunkier copper coin in the early 1800s, but could have been struck as far back as the 1500s. Whoa, $1. Dang, nice one, Big Pappy. Yeah, and then we have this very interesting, this one's going to be no sudden death because just quite a large coin, minted in 1897, a Kelantan Sultanate tin pitis, but much larger than most of the other pitis types. It's pretty unlikely that you see so many of the tin types, and very interesting inscriptions all around. But the Sultanate of Kelantan, I'm not exactly sure. Actually, I should look it up live, and paid much more obviously than the current price is going. Maybe was a little unknown to be running. Nice win, Tatum. When they come back, we'll probably run them at like a $14 start. Kelantan. Okay, no, there's still the Kelantan Sultanate or state in Malaysia, so is still active. That's pretty neat. Haven't tried any of these yet. These are rarer Fanon from the Mahe Mint. These would be about $57 start or $59 starts. Early 1700s French India, with some fascinating, US style date up top. Rarer, again, minted by the French with Persian script in India. Nice and lustrous, and just a very interesting, challenging to find item. And that's really what I end up going after. Try to stock these shows well. What is this one? Oh, that one's cool. We have a British West Africa 1/10 penny from 1939. Has a very interesting star like so, and it's like AU uncirculated. Quite nice shape, and it also has some of the kind of Arabic script, which is pretty interesting. 1/10 of a penny. Always fascinating. And that one will go to Richard Hunter. Nice win for $5. Let's see. We'll do one more of them. This one's really lustrous. And yeah, keep letting me know what else seems interesting. Can run a couple more of the nice Jetons. Congrats to Richard. This one is a Village of Paris. We have the ship and crest. No sudden death. Super nice. Dated to 1782. Vie de Paris. Interesting how. Let's see what this references. Comartin. No bid on that one. And then there's also some of the nicer, what's it called? A 2-pack, sure. Probably started at, this one would be $34 start. It's an earlier ruler, 1865 Belgian King Leopold I. Those would start at 28. Just confirming that one's good with you. Then we'll make it happen. Let's see what else. Nice win for Richard. Let's do a couple of the. Here's our next 2-pack. Is a nice 20 cash. Love the old Shipwreck toned look on the 10 cash. And yeah, here we go. Very fun. What does that say? It says Artificio Regis. It's some kind of Latin inscription down there. Nice one for Jay Dizzle. I'll be getting number 3. Absolutely. No, really pleased to get it to you. Let's see. 49080. This one's a little bit dinged up, actually. So we'll start for 32, but it's earlier, and it's 1852, which is often, that's solidly earlier of a Leopold 5 franc. High silver content. And see, Sprague's is going to be the first bidder. Also kind of curious what we've got. 1906. WX 56 19-06. Booker T. Washington. We'll do it for our purchase price. Nice. Tokugawa Shogunate. Yes, Sam. We definitely do. Let me snag some for us. These would have financed the memorial. Nice one for Big Pappy. 2 Booker T. Washington. Sudden death, this one. But then we'll do some more Tokugawa Shogunate. Let me just... Big Pappy. Leading early. We've also got some cool, like, Iowa commemoratives. I'm just looking here. There's actually a pretty good range. Nice win for Big Pappy. Let's see what else. We've got the Boo WX37. I wish we had a little more, but that one has a nice little counter mark up top. These were all going way into the 30s. We'll see where they all land. The York Commemorative, sure. Let me just tell you what I paid for it. Or maybe I may not have the York Commemorative as well. Looks like we have a Lexington Concord, we have a Pilgrim, a Cleveland, an Iowa, and some Monroes. Nice win for Chicken and Donkey. Let's see, this one, very, very nicely struck. Super sharp rims and multiple counter marks is quite interesting. 2 and 4 reals. Let's see. Yeah, there's a Hollandia which I can look up. I think the 2 reals are like 99 starts on the El Caz. If I have them, maybe we have some half reals. Which 2 and 4 reals were you most interested in? We'll do these last 2, by the way. These last 2 Boo here. There could be a couple of shoe that I have that are nice. But yeah, no, I always want to make sure I'm offering what people are most interested in. HID leading. Just very nice coins. And then let's see, here's a nice silver Boo from the Edo Mint. Yeah, super sharp. And also countermarked. Sam in the lead. We've got a couple. These are left over. They're not, like the Mint State 62, I don't think is really quite real, basically. We'll go no sudden death. But these are silver shoe, and they're curious. I bought them from France, but they had, they were in this GBCA holder. And so, just kind of cool. You're looking for the 8s? Yeah, I'm trying to think. We have some great Shipwreck stuff, but it's expensive. We've got 2 Conception Shipwreck coins that are at $4.39. Then we also have, and those are 8s. I don't think we've got tons of other 8s. Non-Shipwreck, but raw. I'll have to ask Alex. But I don't have any inventoried for today. And that one will go to Deckmaster. Congrats. Let's see. Where are some other fun? That one is a cool Vliegenhart type. I also want to make sure we run some more of the, we got some nice Commodus denarii of the Roman Empire. Always a popular ruler, often bid up. At least they have in the past. But Commodus ruled after Marcus Aurelius, and I would describe his reign as being a pretty challenged one. It was not exactly the best for the Roman Empire. Just a lot of strife, and it basically, there's 5 different emperors that are all vying for power after him. He thinks that he's God basically, and goes off the rails, you could say. This one's actually quite nice looking. It's got a great reverse too. References, different years and times that he would have served in different functions. Would not be shocked if this one would bid a couple rungs higher here. But seems like it'll just go to Tiffany. Nice win. And then last but not least, this is the last of the Commodus we have today. There's two more Marcus Aurelius that I'm not going to run for more than 75, though in the past they've accelerated a nice stage up from there. Also have some Lucius Verus. We have some Antoninus Pius. Maybe we'll do Pius next, a great posthumous type. Emma Meal. Nice win. Here we've got beautiful. This has the Consecratio, the bird reverse, referencing that Pius at this stage has died, and a great obverse, Divus Antoninus. Fantastic silver, and then again that eagle, nice winged look on the reverse. Congratulations. Here we go. We've got a Marcus Aurelius as Caesar. Not in the best shape, but we'll start for 75 bucks. On the reverse, we can see TRPOT. It's like Tribuna Potesta. And Javier is going to start, but nice detail. And we'll see Tiffany Ancients is going to bid. I could see that one having a fair bit of back and forth, but only one way to find out. Maybe it'll, land for a mere 78. In this case, a nice win. Again, not increasing the start price, just running them. This one's going to be the last Marcus Aurelius for today. Going to be a $75 start. And then it looks like we only have two other ungraded denarii in the NGC. And how does this time work for everybody? Because I've been thinking of running a couple more, maybe starting more at like 8:30 or so. 9, we had to push back to 9:30, but I've definitely been conscious. And Lucius Verus is co-ruling with Marcus. We're going to go with a low 55, and I think that one will move higher. But very interesting Verus type. And then our last would be Faustina Senior. We have one posthumous of hers left. Trying to think of other interesting offerings that we might be able to, show. Tiffany Ancients. German Commemoratives. Let's see, what do we have in terms? Oh yeah, we do have some nice German Commemoratives. Probably need to start them like 24. It's probably a 20%, 25% premium to silver. Here's the last of these denarii we can run. We have some nice other types, but this one will be our last for the time being. Nice looking one as well. I think it says Consecratio around. I'm not sure what she's holding, but a good Faustina Senior. And then, let's do some of the €10 German Commemoratives though. Scoots, I often sell them. I think people come back. I try to have affordable items. It's really a strategy of mine. So I appreciate you calling that one out. But it's the Treasure Town mentality, I guess. Here's a 175 years of German railroads, German €10 commemorative, 92.5% silver, Jahre Eisenbahn in Deutschland, DJSC, and there's so much to learn with World, with US, you know, I'm like trying to touch Shipwreck a little bit more. It's fascinating stuff, really. Robert Schumann, 200 Geburtstag des Komponisten. Second 200th birthday. Almost has like a proof-like look to it. And we can always come back to some of those. In terms of Japanese coins, we've got, this one looks a little bit cleaned, but we have some nice Japanese. This is a Mount Fuji, $28 start. Olympic 1,000 yen, 39th year of Showa. Again, is clean, but nice Fuji 1,000 yen. And we'll go to Tatum. It's also, I don't know, we got a good mix of some different Japanese coins here. Let's see what we have. Also have some great duets. Let's just do a dollar start on this. This one's nice and uncirculated. People are interested in, you know, cool 60-year-old Japanese silver. Nice passing the torch, 60%. But yeah, in quite solid shape. Obviously way back in melt at the moment. We'll see where this one bids to. That one will go to Tatum at 7. Here we've got, let's see. This one is going to be -86 dollar start. This one's really nice looking as well. Like kind of during World War I. Maybe a little old clean, but still nice luster. 1917. And they would have different eras. So the Showa comes after the Taisho, which comes after the Meiji era. Well, that one was a good win for J Dizzle. $5 is attractive. Let's see what else we've got. Is there any interest? I'll just call it out in this $239 Vliegenhart biscuit. I also mentioned some of the nice. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is a South African British Empire 5 shillings. You can start that for about $19. Get back to break even, but it's got a nice ship. 300th anniversary for South Africa in the last year of King George the 6th king. George Sextus is the 6th, Rex is king. And then let's see. It also warmed back up with some of the nice Commems. This one is going to be a Washington Carver. It's the only one of these that I've got in my inventory. And shows all the different states. S is that San Francisco Mint. And we see both Washington and Carver. Previously, there's the Washington Commems. That one will go to Scoots. And then we also have a nice Lexington and Concord Commem. I'd offer this one for about 67 start, but not one that you see every day. No sudden death. Sesquicentennial. I think that's going to be that 250th anniversary of a Revolutionary battle. One of the early ones. And you see the Concord Minuteman, Patriot $50, Revolutionary War cap holding the rifle. Super interesting. See Sprague's going to come in at the very last second on it. The old Beltry Lexington. And there's really an interesting classic commemorative history. I mean, we could, and I probably should have prepped a little, you know, I was so focused on getting the show off basically that I didn't have as much time. This one's an Iowa Centennial $50. This one's a little bit pricier. It's more like 79 bucks, but again, don't see them all the time, and they're real nice. Iowa Statehood Centennial, 1946. They would have gotten statehood 1846. Our liberties, our rights, we prize. And then there is the old stone capital, Iowa City. Nice looking coin. Let's see what else. Oh, we got some Monroe. These are like one of the more common but still cheap types, if that makes sense. So I'd be looking to make 10% starting it at 39. 1923S, actually pretty decent looking. And it has the the Monroe Doctrine showing North and South America, but kind of deifying them. Centennial 1823, referencing Los Angeles. Super interesting art. Minted in San Francisco. And then we also have some classic, just like nice looking Morgans. We can get back right into the world stuff. I just wanted to make sure, I've been trying to, again, offer all different types of coins. Here's a nice 1884 Morgan. Nice and lustrous. DJSC. Leading. Yeah, would not be shocked to see this get a couple extra bids here. But maybe it'll land for, thought I got a good deal on it. Let's see what else. We probably want to start these maybe just to avoid any. This one looks like it's, AU maybe has a wipe or a little bit of cleaning on it just when I look at it at a quick glance. 1896, a little bit of a later date though. I would lose money, Scoots, if I ran it for 35. I could sell it to you if we were at a show for 35, but I paid mid-30s on it. Yeah, for sure. Let me find that El Caz 1 real. And so I feel bad on that one, but I also don't mind being like, I quite literally, because on those ones, thankfully I can send them back to the guy I bought them from in a month if I don't sell them. This one is pretty solid looking. There's some incrustation. 78 is going to be where I make a little less than 10%. So it's a full real. I find the reals much more challenging to find than the half reals, of which we do have a couple of them. My price was 39, Scoots. Silver Roman, yes, we have a good amount of Silver Roman. We've ran a lot of NGC Silver Roman. J Dizzle Note's going to be on that one. US Era Coins, yeah, we have a couple of them, W. Stacy. We do have a couple of them, so be happy to get that. Here's the other one, by the way. This one has a really nice reverse, but struggles on the front is real tough, so it's kind of a pick your poison situation. Again, real challenged obverse, really nice reverse, great Spanish, and again, 1 real, a little bit tougher to find. But yeah, let's do the, yeah, we've got some awesome Shipwreck stuff. Obviously El Caz, slightly more affordable. We can try the Vliegant Heart, again, which are 84 starts. We also have, they're tough. But I think, it's not easy to access them. I've sold a lot of these in the 100 to call it 110 to 150 range. These are in a little bit more challenged shape, so we can discount them, but it's still like a full ducaton that would have been sunk to the bottom of the ocean. You can see some of the crust there. And so always quite popular. I'm not shocked at all to see those moving. Nice win for J Dizzle. And then we've also got, let's see, double 005. This is the last one of those. This one's probably the toughest one. We could maybe drop it to $1.82. Take $2 off. Can crimp a little bit on my end, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, they do have, like here a nice thing, you can really see good outline on the rear quarters of the horse, because these are full ducatons. You can see the crest here pretty clearly as well. Been laying on the bottom of the ocean floor, though, for hundreds of years, so you do lose a little bit of detail. And why don't we run a couple of more Roman Empire types? These are Jovi Conservatori, basically protector of emperors. This one would have been Licinius II, though he wouldn't have survived as Licinius II for too much longer. NOBC is going to mean like Nobilis Kaiser. And then on this side we see, I think is it Sol? I forget exactly who would have been on that reverse. Absolutely. DJSC, they're good. I paid low 40s for them, low to mid 40s. And so I think they would. I actually haven't looked at them though. Alex, how did the 3-cent silvers look?
They're pretty good actually.
All right.
Not damaged at all.
Oh, nice. Alex is saying they look pretty good. This one is a Constantine the Great Sol Invictus coin.
There's only like 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
Like 3-cent silvers.
Yeah. Let me go find the 3-cent silvers that we have. They're not going to be unk or anything, but I think they're pretty nice. Here we've got this is the, it's like the mourning type after his death. Yeah, sounds good, Philo. I was only running them for 19, which at that rate I'd make a little less than $1, so I think it wasn't too bad of a price. Let me try to find, we'll do 2 more of these Roman types, and then we can do some of those 5 shillings, and then we can run, let me see where the trimes are. The half cents are pretty nice, but they're expensive. The 3-cent silvers, yeah, we'll I actually have not seen them yet. This one's a cool, tougher emperor to find. Jovian, he ruled for about a year. This one says, basically he's been ruling for 5 years, prayers to get to 10. Obviously did not work out that well for him. He was a usurper, I believe, of Julian the Apostate, and then after him, we would have had some like the Valentinian, Gratian, Arcadius, some of those familiar characters. There's a couple more, good Roman types that we haven't. This is Aelia Eudocia, which is a far less well-known ruler. She's going to be inscribing, I believe that's the Chi Rho, which is Chi is C, Rho is R, Christus. Yeah, but nice Roman numus. Nice win for Tiffany. And then we had been asked to do the East India Company, and then we're going to go... Oh, this is a nice one. I could see this one really bidding up. I'm not going to start it for more, because I feel like that would be... Not extortion, but you know what I mean. But really choice looking with some crazy toning, and a beautiful example on that 1808. These are some nice items. And silver Romans, Eric Marr. Yeah, let me pull a couple of silver Roman coins that will remind me to run those. We could also do a couple of barbaric examples, but in the meantime, we'll pull some of the South African ones. Nice win. That one's going to be number 4. The ones that we brought. This one will sudden death. This again, very clear type. Could you write, Alex, number 7 on on a sliver of a sticky note? Maybe 7 through, as many as you can. Yeah, totally. No, we really tried to emphasize, that the color is fantastic. Nice win for Eric. Let's see what else. This one, And the nice thing is that it's also like different people have different. Some people want color. Some people want really flashy. Um, you know, some people want a kind of rugged, shipwrecked look. I think that would probably be something like $20 JMats if it's a silver Jeton. Mm. And so that one is going to sell to Loop de Lukes. And we can come back as well. We've got one more of these easily accessible. Maybe we'll do a couple more than that. But it might take me a little while to prep those. That one has a fantastic looking 20 cash example. And so let's see.
Wait, Christian, do you have like a pen or something somewhere?
Yeah, I've got some over here. Nice win for J Dizzle Notes. And then if you could get maybe these written and then bring some over, that would be great. Nice one for J Dizzle. And let's then do some of the Silver Ancients after we do, what's it called? Some of the, we'll do some of these silver types. The 3 cent. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, we gotta make sure that we get that. Let me get that next. Always juggling different. Here we've got the King George 5 shilling at a 19 start. Most interested in 58. All right, well let me grab it. And I would not be shocked for this to bid up some. I thought that the 19 was like a decent start. It's a beautiful crown size silver coin. Fantastic portrait of a ship with some faint waves in the fields, and that one will go to Luke de Luke's. I think while we're on it, and I hope I'm not driving you too mad, we'll do the other two that I'd brought, and then we'll move on. We'll go 15 seconds, and we'll do all the different trimes. Those are probably going to be something like a 50 start, but let me just make sure I pull them and I have them ready for us. And there's also some US era coins nearby, and we gotta get the Silver Ancients, so there's a lot that I need to remember here. 58. Oh, that looks really nice, actually. Hollex is gonna win that coin. And then let's do the last of them. Very nice looking. It's the last one that we've got again, so got to get it in while you can. And then that one will go to Hollex. Nemesis sounds good. Oh, I'm glad, Loop de Lukes, that you're enjoying it. I put in a lot of effort trying to make these some awesome auctions. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's actually a really decent looking coin. You guys be the judge. But it's a nice 3 cent silver. This is the smallest US circulating silver coin. It's got really decent detail on there. Probably like a 52. I mean, I was going to say 55. Make a little less than 10%. But this one's nice. I mean, really nice. On this side, all the jewels are pretty clearly there. And yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, been neglecting the U.S. way too much. And there's just so many neat types. Nice one for Emma Meal, and I think the other ones are also kind of high quality examples. This one here is going to be, let's see, 1852. This one has a nice look to it. Would not be surprised to see it bid higher. And again, lowest circulating coin. Great detail. Super clear. Big fan of that one. Keep asking me on all these different coins. I'm going to try to do my best. Nice win for Emma Meal there. And then last but not least, we've got this 1853 right here. This one, that side looks a little bit more worn, but the other side, maybe it was in somebody's pocket or something, because it's pretty clear. There's no, like, the letters are all super clearly there. United States of America, 1853. Then this side just has a gorgeous circulated look to it. Again, clearly circulated, but quite nice. There's not like big dings in it, and so I think that's fantastic. I think then we'll move into some of the Jetons, and then we have to do some of the, there's some other great U.S. type. There's some great, like, 3-cent nickel coins that are like low 20s starts, so a bit more affordable if you're looking for, that denomination specifically. But this one had been asked about Mayor of Angers. I think this one could bid high from a 20 start. 1671, Labori Redita Merces, and it's really nice looking. And then we'll also get the 0357 157 JMATS request as we go through our different Jetons. I know there was Nemesis had some inquiries as well. Oh yeah, and Silver Romans. We've got, maybe honestly I'll do one more Jeton and then we'll do 2 Silver Romans. Eric, are you looking for like $49 start raw ones or like $100 graded ones? Is an important question to ask. This is the Winged Thunderbolt. In the past, these have bid a good touch higher. Sounds good. You're looking for raw examples. This is the Extraordinaire de Guerre. A lot to do with the war. Philo Spectrum, remind me on that. And HID, we've got, these are all great French, here's French silver, obviously, but we've got some other smaller denomination types. And, so if you're interested in smaller denom, we can definitely pivot over. Nice one for Loop de Lukes. We got 2. This one is actually a Philip Antoninus, so these are pretty popular. Likely to bid a good bit up. It's a nice Victoria reverse portrait, but we'll just run it at $49 start. Philip would have been ruling during a time after Gordian where there's a lot of inflation. After him, there's a bunch of persecution against Christians. It's rumored that his Ottilia Severa, his wife, would have actually been Christian. So, obviously Roman Empire is super important in a lot of that formation of the early Christian world. And so this is a good reminder of that time period. Nice one for Luke de Lukes. And then what else? We've got one other example. Then we're going to jump back. That's a nice Securitas seated. And there's so many different reverse portraits. People can go deep with one emperor or empress. Yeah, Securi. Or Securite, and then Orbis. So maybe like a secure world, basically. Imp Emperor, and then M.I. something, Philip, Pius Felix. Or no, it was Philippus Augustus. Roman Republic Raw, I have a couple of them, sure. I do want to make sure that I hit on some of the requests and keep requesting it. We can do the drachma. This one is a Vie de Paris. City of Paris, Jeton, date to 1782. I haven't seen this type frequently. Prévost de Lefebvre. There's a lot of Comartin, and a great ship obverse. And then, let's see, 118 here. This was requested. This one's real nice. I'm not going to change that start price. I think this could bid up, decently past. There's a clear Christian theme in the middle with the cross there. 1766, really interesting crest, nice toning. Vie de Paris has that same ship look to it. Scipio Africanus, which one is that you would like to, or is that referencing the coin that I'm currently offering in front of us? Beautiful. Jeton type. There's also the Napoleon. I don't think so. Can you remind me who Scipio Africanus is? It sounds so familiar, but I'm drawing a blank when you mention that name. And then this one is going to be our last Jeton in the immediate term. This one's a really interesting Conventus Cleri Gallicani Habitus from 1750. It's kind of one of the text versions, which I would say is a little less common than some of these. And MDCCL is going to be 1750, the date, right in the middle of King Louis the 15th's reign. Let's do a dollar start after one went without a bid. A 1 centesimi of Napoleon Bonaparte, the King of Italy. I think the V is going to be something. And yeah, let me try. There's one Roman Republican coin that unfortunately has a chip, so we'll dollar start it. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. No, that's clutch. And nice win for Imperial. Not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but hopefully I got close. There's a bunch. Again, I mentioned we have some other French silver stuff. There's a lot still left. So if there's any specific ones, maybe we can do that Greek 5 drachma in a couple. There had been kind of a frenzy over some of the East India Company, what's it called? Folios. And so we can run, this one is a beautiful type here. That's a stunner of an example. 28. Start with no sudden death. Oh, the 3 cent. Those are like maybe $22, but they're very decent, like good looking coins. And so we'll offer some soon. But again, take a look at how nice the Shipwreck, and that one I think was a really good scoop at 28. Let's see. Here's the 3 cent nickel, like a 22, 23, maybe 22. Wouldn't be shocked for it to get. It shouldn't be like in the 40s, but could get a couple of extra bids. Full Liberty, very pleasing eye appeal. Are there any? I don't want to say no hits and then have there be a small hit somewhere, but I really don't see any hits on it. Maybe a tiny rim neck, but like really the tiniest. And then 067 154. Let's try it. We've got a Diocletian. Condors, yeah, we have a couple of Condor tokens. We'd be happy to run some. But let's do some of the. I do want to try some of the France silvers. This one is going to be Yovi Conserve. Nice win for Tiffany. Can also run. Where's some of the French? Let's see, 49. Yeah, like for example, we've got some very nice series style, which is always a little more popular on the 5 francs. Some of the fractions. So this is like a 50 centimes. Very nice looking. I don't have many, but I can try to get some more. I'll be on the lookout for them, J Dizzle. Had a big buyout happen, and when that happens, it can take a little while to get much more. 50 cents going for it, $3. I think it's a pretty good price there. Nice win. I'm probably going to protect this one a little bit more. And so this one would be like a $9 start, 1887. Super good level of detail. Again, 1800s French silver. And if there's more Jetons, they can be, I think it's like, there's a couple other spots where you'd be able to see them. I forget like it's, here, let me just tell you quickly. Oh, actually it doesn't look like there's, oh, cool. Cool. Let's see, we'll do this one for also a $9 start, 1881. Pretty nice condition. And then we do have a couple of the 2 francs even, which are certainly solid. Ritz cracker, congrats. Here we've got an 1871, and in decent shape really. This would be like a $14. But if there's other, I could see that one bidding up a good bit higher. This one's K Mint, which I think is going to be Bordeaux. 092 sounds good. We can do Commodus Sestertius. In a little bit, I might run through these series types. Are always so popular that I want to make sure I offer them while I have them in front of me. This one's a little more worn, so we'll start it for even at the 13 range. But then we'll do the Commodus Roman Empire. There's also some really fantastic Roman like NGC types that are graded. So we could take a look at some of those. Here, 1871, this one is, let's see, this one would be like a 14 start example. This one's minted in Paris. Quite nice appeal. Ritz cracker in the lead, and then last but not least, this one's actually the earlier, the 1870, because I think that's the year I think that they take down Louis Napoleon III, the nephew of Napoleon, who tries to conquer and is in power for about 18 years. I'm also going to do that one will go to Ritz. Oh yeah, before we do the Commodus, let's try this one. It's such a shame this one is broken. I just want to call that out extremely clearly. You can see, and it's a beautiful coin, but again, it is broken. We're going to do a $1 start, no sudden death, on what otherwise would be a high 100, high 2 figures, low 3 figures denarius. 75 BC, again, it's broken. But, if you're able to figure out how to get it perfectly back together, then that's what it would look like. So, again, I think should still be way past the 20s. Obviously paid more for it than that, but we'll see where it lands, and I don't want to do too much complaining. That's never fun. But I think still, I almost wonder if it would be better to have just sold like that, maybe get 50 or 60 bucks for it. Nice win. And always good to throw a sudden note, a $1 start on a rare coin. This one, nice coin, would probably start for 39 bucks. It's a weighty Commodus Sestertius. Any 1 centime from France. I don't think we have any Tato, but there's lots of different types. This one, you can clearly see the Senatus Consulto. It's obviously a heavier coin. Tiffany Ancients starting at 39. We'll see where this one bids up to. I feel like that one will be great for the audience to which you'll bring it. And then let's see what else I might have. Let's see, 191, a beautiful reduced Numus coin. $25 start is the last of our no-grade Romans. We have some nice graded types, though, again, that I think are comparatively affordable. Oh yeah, the Belgium silver sounds good. There's also French silver, but let me just look for a 5. I think 5 franc is going to be the denomination that we're looking for. Also realizing we have some nice 5 copex. Nice win. Here we've got a 32 start on a 1831 Louis Philippe, and it's like a younger portrait of his. And then we'll do some Belgian. Let me see, 49078. Oh yeah, and we have even the Greek. I think we have a Greek example. Ritz cracker, starting at 32. Again, would not be shocked. This is a pretty decent IPL. You can see a little hit in the rim there, but pretty nice looking 1830s crown. I think at 32 is very, a nice pickup. This is an earlier Belgian silver coin with all the rims intact. This one has to start a little higher, like 36 or so. Again, 1851 Leopold 5 franc. And then, let's see, 23. I think there's one more of those 5 francs as well. The Hercules I'm out of at the moment, but I can try to buy some more. It'll take a while to obviously get in from France. This one's been cleaned decently, so I always just try to be really straightforward about what I notice. We'll start it at 30, but it's, wouldn't be shocked if it bids up a little bit, but just, if something's cleaned, I want to call that one out. We do have a couple of the Herdsman 5 francs. That one will go to Brandon. Here's a Herdsman example. Why don't we start it for 14 bucks? 1939, a little bit earlier there. Retired Ron in the lead, 1939, probably referring to Burn there. Yeah, we got some cool stuff, I think. This one is in quite good shape. It's $14 start is, or no, 16 because I paid 14 for it, and a beautiful half price, tougher date, Indian copper from the British Times. Has some dark brown toning, but a beautiful example. It's interesting how some stuff bids up, others is maybe a little tougher to bid up. This one, similar. Trying to broaden though the different countries that we offer. Nice, again, half pice. King George. This is George V, so he would have reigned 1910 to 1936. Nice one for Brandon again. Let's see, what other nice... Here's a shield nickel, I think. We had paid on these right around 27 bucks. So I would start this one for about 33. No sudden death. Very pleasing look. Everything's there. No hits, just a good type coin, a little weakness on the rim up top, but really clear 5 cent. This would have been the first, nickel coin that we had. We'd had previously like some half dimes. And then let's see what else we have here. We have some nice Vatican themed medals. This one is a Pope John Paul. Mother of Cheshtoa, $10 start. Types here with the mother and child. These would have been struck in like the 60s or 70s. And starting them right where I paid. So we'll see if they bid up. But I feel like metals are often popular. Sure, let me pull that one after we do a couple of cool metals. That one will go to Tiffany Ancients. We also have, let's see, this is a Pieta, again similar, and we'll go with the 12 start sudden death just to keep it moving. But this is Roma Città del Vaticano, John Paul example, B.S. Hughes jumping in, minted in, I think it was minted in Italy, but kind of for the Vatican. Very interesting. Not going to increase the start price on any of them. I have 7 in my inventory, and that's all, unless it's 8, but I brought everything. The Pieta, this one's interesting, a little bit of a different surface type. That one will go to Tiffany at 15. Let's see. Right here we have St. Peter's Square, so a little bit different. I've never been to the Vatican City. I'd love to go. John Paul. I feel like obviously there's been a lot more papal discourse and awareness. Yeah, it would be so fun. My sister converted to Catholicism. I'm more like a Protestant Christian, but it would be so fun to go, maybe especially with her. Condor. Yeah, we'll do Condors. What did I say? We're after the. Well, I told you that we could do Condors prior. This is a Pope John the 23rd. We've got 2 more medals of these. Then we'll do some Condors, and then we will wrap things up with. Well, not wrap things up, but we'll get to the Napoleonic. All right, 2 more of these. Again, I just wanted to offer them. This one's really interesting. Has some cool toning on it. It's dated specifically to 1975. Really interesting reverse style. Oh yeah, I'm powerful. Let me pull that coin out as well. Those coins. 32. Let's see. I know where they're at. I'm gonna make sure that because they're in a separate area that I'm holding them, and so I want to make sure that I've pulled them out. They're like $27 starts. Here's the last of these Vatican coins. We'll do it for $10 start this time to close it out. Key and crest, and then we'll do Condors. How long am I running? Probably another hour and a half or so, something like that. Let's do the 2 French medieval, then the Condors, just because this came even before the Condor request. 27, no sudden death, beautiful medieval Anjou French. The last coin, I don't think so, D France. Nice win for I Am All Powerful. Let's see what else. We can run one more of those. Very nice looking coins here. Oh no, Richard. Hopefully we didn't have anything incredible that you missed. Okay, then we're going to do 2 Condors in the Italian. There's not tons of Condors in today's show, but I brought what I could. Tried to do my best for us. Nice win for Glapow. Congratulations. Very nice level of detail on that example. Could do a couple more. Well, let's see. We'll do a Condor. Dollar start it, why not? This one's a nice example, so just a risky play here, but this one is going to be, basically there's a shortage of small change in England, and so they struck a bunch of coins too, similar to how we did the Hard Times tokens and that kind of thing. We've also got some nice 5 copex. I think that now would be a good time to run them. After we do this Napoleonic type, we could do a couple of other condors, and then, you know, world's our oyster. A lot of cool stuff that we haven't yet approached. Nice win for Gabe. Dollar start. This Napoleon example as well. Napoleon Bonaparte, a 1 centesimi, 1809. 1 centesimo, I stand corrected. Napoleone Imperatore. And then we'll do the condors, and then we will... There's just a bunch of different stuff, actually, that could be good to run here. And as a heads up, everybody, Alex, who's in the back, he's going to be running a show on Tuesdays. It's been a long time since we've had a weekday show. That'll be something to look out for. And I'm going to be far, far away while he's running, so it'll be also good, diving into the deep end and seeing what happens. So this one's a really cool condor. To Cheer Our Hearts has a super interesting... I've never seen this design before. Well, I'll be on for another hour and a half or so, I would say. Somewhere in that range. 1796, nice win, Gabe Da. Let's see. Our last condor, a Robert Heslop. Oh, that one's cool. The first shop in London. Probably start this one for 27 since our last one, and want to... It says, "Can you do so?" on this side. Another cool, and it says the first shop in London for natural curiosities, paintings, coins, colors for artists. Wow. So it's actually referencing... I'm wondering if it's actually like a coin shop. Oh yeah, Philo. Good call out. Let's do the drachma next before we do some of the 5 copex. Eman Resu. Any Mexico, Guatemala? We have a couple of Mexican shipwreck stuff, but it's real expensive, so it's not going to be any too affordable. As I mentioned, this one's pretty dinged up around the rims. We'll start it for 36, which would get me to what I paid for it. But I still think, there's some pleasing, like, little faint gold toning. I thought some of the 1600s Jetons, sure. Can we do some 1700s as well, or is it just 1600s that you're in? Because most of them are going to be 16, 17, and 1800s. So I just want to confirm on that front. Awesome. Well, we'll attack them. I was kind of going to do this. I had mentioned it a couple of times. This little pivot for some of the cool 5 copex. I feel like it's just a chunky type that a lot of people are always after. Great older Catherine the Great historical example. You're looking for the octagonal stuff? All right, well, let's find some octagonal retired. They're always cool. Totally agree with you on that front. Yeah, we have some nice examples here. These were struck first by Elizabeth Petrovna starting in about 1750s, and then you have a good number from... Oh, wow, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, it's probably all over the place. Tons in... That has such an interesting... I never even noticed that there's like a horse and a ruler on a horse running. It reminds me of like the Russian wire money, basically. I have somehow never seen that on these coins. Would you believe that? And I've sold some pretty nice looking ones. Let's see here. This one's 1781. Yeah, they all have that. I mean, it's obvious, but I just hadn't seen it. They all have that nice running, and that's some real solid detail. Super nice. win for B.S. Hughes. Let's see. This one is going to be 1772. $28 start. Very nice. John in the lead. John will hang on. Let's see. Here's 1773. Beautiful. Right around the Revolutionary War. They're striking these massive coins over in Russia. Fascinating. We can do a Jeton run. There's also a couple of the other 5 copex, so it depends what people want to see. We can vary them, jump back and forth, really however you want to do it. Oh, 1776. That means this one's going to be a no sudden death Revolutionary War year, and it's particularly nice looking, so that's good news. People always love that. Let's see. Now we're on the hunt for some Jetons. We'll start with a 1708 for Nemesis, a little earlier date. Then we'll try to get some octagonal examples as well. Easy 911. Looks like that's headed your way. Congrats. Here we've got, let's see, $49 start. On a Procurateur de Compte. And I think our Jeton selection is going to be very exciting for people who like interesting Jetons today. Just a good wide mix. Gallienus is going to start. Let's see. This one, okay. Let's see. We also have a couple slightly cheaper ones. This one's not as cheap. This one's that are like unsure when they'd be struck, but likely in the 1800s. Not like super modern, but also, not struck with a specific date. Super nice. Trésor Royal. Here is a Chambre de Commerce de Nantes. Jeton would have been not in the 1700s, but nice silver example. Oculi omnium inte sperant domine, again from Nantes. And then I have a couple of the octagonal examples. Let's see. This one is an interesting mix of, like late 1800s. Let's start with this one here. 44024. The General Company, the Transatlantic General Company. Compagnie Générale Transatlantique. Assemblée Générale des Actionnaires. And it has a really interesting, it says something Terrier Fondateur. Nice win for retired Ron. Let's see. Here we've got a similar type, but this one's minted for Antoine Bovy. Chemin de fer de Paris à Orléans. Loi du le 7 juillet, 7th of July. Great classic French industrial style. There's a Vie de Poitiers. And the octagonaux, as they're referred to by the French dealer that I get them, always very popular. Caisse d'épargne. This one's maybe a 45 start. Slightly smaller planchet. Bunch of sweet jetons. Thank you, C Ventu. Is Ventu? How do you? Is it a French name? Just super cool. Ventura. Okay, yeah, that's not a. That's more of a Californian last name. Spanish, yes. I guess there could be. We'll do both. Well, I was just thinking of Ventura County. This one is also a dated to 1836, price struck late 1800s. Liège et Meaux, Département d'Eure et Loire. Something in Loire is probably law. Not exactly sure. And these Jetons are just fantastic. In the meantime, would encourage everybody to look at what else they might be, interested in. Streaming during a wedding. That's funny. Hey, I mean, you got to get the coins will disappear if you're not there for them. So many of these I've never seen before. First time offering. This is a very nice art. It shows a great scene of La Rochelle, Dita et Orna, Jetons de présence. Yeah, I feel like it would be a little much to be streaming from a wedding in a white dress. That's probably where you draw the line. And talks about the Chamber of Commerce of La Rochelle. Let's see. Right here, this is a Angers, Maine et Loire. It talks about a bunch of different insurance companies. There's a big consolidation of them. This would have been struck again, a little more modern, late 1800s, early 1900s, but under Béchet, Siège Social, Angers, Maine et Loire, Angevin, and it's the Society of Insurance contre, I don't know what l'incendie. Maybe incendie would be like fire. So maybe this is like a fire insurance Jeton, something like that. This one is cool. This is a marriage Jeton. It's in a little tougher shape. I'd start at 39, and I'm not exactly sure when it's dated to, but it should be from the 1800s or so, or at least a good while ago. And it says mariage chrétien, Christian marriage. And Pengre is like the start of the ruler there, but they didn't. Often this would be inscribed to somebody specific. 560409. Sure, let me try that. I'm going to do a couple more at least we'll say 4 more Jetons here. This one is going to be again, unclear on the date on this one, and I'll run it potentially for a losing price. This one would be Chambre des Notaires, but just looks a little bit more like, late 1800s, early 1900s. I could see some other examples of, again, by Tassé, Notamus Rex, legal style Jeton, of the Arrondissement d'Arras, Pas de Calais. And then I'm, again, going to get to all the requests that have piled up in the meantime. We'll go with some certainly older examples here. This one is going to be a 1848 dated octagonal Jeton back up to 49. And then let me just pull while we're talking about it. W46 160502. That's right there. Louis the 14th. Type in Louis XIV and tell me what I have. That's probably the best way to do that, because you'll be able to see exactly. If it's Louis' time, it should be up there. This one has some nice toning. Good afternoon, Amy Hayes. Good to see you. What are you most interested in today? Because I can see if I've got some. Here's another. I worry that I've used up too much of my octagonal supply, but Monsieur Morel, assiduous honor, Conseil municipal de la ville de Lyon. And it's been inscribed original. It seems like they were different dates in the 1820s. They've sold some 1825 5, but fantastic little fiery red toning. 1 Balboa, that's a great idea. Let me first see if we have that 46 or 560409. I'll tell you what the price is. It's not going to be cheap. The 4 reals from the Hollandia Shipwreck. That's a good one. Based on what I paid for it, I would be looking for about $2.99 on there. Let me see, Hollandia, and I'll look on Hollandia, NGC. I don't see any 4 reals up, but yeah, we'll try it for even $2.89, but we'll give it 30 seconds. I think Hollandia would have been shipwrecked in the 1740s sometime. This is a nice silver Mexican, or is it Mexican? I'm not exactly sure what yet. Mexican 1741. New style owl B tetragram, those would be awesome. Don't have any of those at this stage, but I can try to find some. Yeah, 17, no, this one's 1740. Oh, 1741 is when it sunk. That makes a lot of sense. Nice win for Tattoos by Mike. If there's any interest, we have, this is a Conception Shipwreck. This would be, I don't think I'd offer this, I don't know, maybe I had offered this one, but there's another one I have, but let's see. This would be $439. Again, on eBay, I think that the Conception's definitely known one. Cheapest you can get it at $525 currently with 13 watchers. So I think it's a good shade cheaper than that eBay. If you're looking for high-end shipwreck, I think we've got it. And the Maristine we sold one of. We've got some great Campen material. Campen, that's going to be somewhere in like the... this one we could honestly do a little more inexpensively, like $3.99. Nice lined alder, Campen Shipwreck, 1626, and we've got a very full planchet, obviously. Great, great obverse. It's in, the Shipwreck's been a recent intrigue of mine, and I've been trying to purchase some, learn more about them, that kind of thing. And then so we said C-Ventu. Oh, we need to get the Balboas priority. There's also some more Jetons. I think the Balboas are like a 38 type start because they're really nice and unky. Any more silver, Gallienus? Which are you referring to? And absolutely, Tattoos. I'm pleased. It's a good one to pick up, and glad we can get it to you. Beautiful. Yeah, we do have some more silver Jetons. Sure. I can try running some. Oh, and then there's the request around the Serbian coin. So I'm gonna do that one next. Philo Spectrum, German states. Tell me which German states you want, because it's a pretty big range. We do have it, but just to call that one out. Country coin in the lead. That one will go to Country coin. Here we have this Serbian Peter dinar. It's been a while since we've done a dollar start, but we'll try it. It's actually a somewhat premium coin. Serbian silver, a little bit less common to find. And that's going to be, again, King Peter the First. Then we'll do the other 2 Balboas. Glap House Event 2. Don't have any more of these in my inventory. We'll see who gets it. That'll be Country Coin picking it up. And then these, given the prior, will probably just run for $40 each. And maybe we'll do the other 5 copex, and we can take a stab. We have some very cool metals. We have some other, we have a Vliegenhart Prussia. Spain, 8 reals. We have 8 reals shipwrecked from the Conception. Those are going to be 1600s. We don't have the 1400s. We have some Bolivian stuff. So I think those are pretty popular. And this is the last one for a nice Panamanian blazon. example. Let's see. Oh, here's a Prussian one. You can do that one for $1 start. Should bid up pretty nicely. Yeah, exactly. No, fantastic luster. Nice one for country coin. And then this one, $1 start, no sudden death. 1912 3-mark coin. I could see this one being quite popular. Fantastic German states item. Some nice French coins as well. 3202, 26. Back of where I paid for it, but it doesn't mean it should necessarily bid for more. I just wouldn't be shocked if, if there was some additional interest, basically. Thinking we can jump around from here to like some early German or early French coins. Then people wanted the Jetons, so that may be where we move next. That one will go to HID. Here we have the Saint-Martin de Tours. He would have been kind of well revered in the 300s under the Romans. We have the Châtel Tournois, classic French medieval crusader look. And then here's the cross on the reverse, but very, very evocative of many of the common French themes. And these are certainly fun examples to offer. Congrats to Glapau. We can do the other one that we brought as well. Nice looking. Very nice. This one has some interesting like incrustation, almost a little flake. You can flake it off at the top. Super good detail for a medieval type. And so if we want some cheap medieval, we can come back to it. But let's go through some of the. Do I have any more? I think I have some more gems. Let me just find them. Okay. Here's some of them. Beautiful. Some of these have a little. This one actually looks like a little bit clean, but State of Languedoc, Comitia Occidentale. I think these will be popular. 1775, right around the Revolutionary War. And this is actually Trebuchet, the engraver for Louis XVI. So interesting to see a couple of the, those types. Let's see, there's a few others. That one will go to Smallwood. Right here. Could do 111, State of Brittany. 1786, Bretagne. Jeton of the State of Bretagne. It's always interesting. He's a very large presence on the coin. Duvivier has engraved for him, but referencing the State of Brittany, and then we'll also run an earlier dated one that I think could be a good candidate to bid a bit higher. This one is going to be Inexhaustis Generosa. It's a really interesting like mining scene, I think. There are two of this year. Let me check that out. 063106. I may have inadvertently sold that elsewhere because unless I upload it over here. Oh yeah, no, I did have it. I think Smallwood, and we'll get that Siege shortly. This one's real nice. Take a look. 1750 Order of St. Louis, Village of Paris. I'll just let the bidding speak for it, but beautiful Vie de Paris with some luster. I think that DV is going to reference Duvivier. And fantastic appearance, I would say, on that example. The Parisian types are often just awesome. Smallwood coming back, and that'll be enough to secure it. This one already sell? No, maybe this one didn't uploaded, but let's see. This one right here, another Village of Paris, a nice line and crest. All sudden death this one, but I could see that one getting right back to the mid-50s or higher. Very pleasing kind of toning, and again, Duviv, interesting integration into the planchet. And then we'll try that German one after probably just a couple of more of these. That one will go to Nemesis. Congrats. 1782 dated. This one would be more like the time of King Louis. Also a Village of Paris example, but 1782, so that's more Louis the 16th, referencing Lefebvre de Caumartin. The classic ship appearance. Sudden death, yet again. That one is going to go to retired Ron. Let's see, we've got this right here. A Gallicani. A little departure from some of the other styles in that it's really only going to be lettering on the reverse. Gallicani probably references their Gallic roots in France. And then it looks like there's one. Oh, there's one more of the Comitia Burgundii. And can you tell me, Philo, which one that is? I'll grab it. It would be a $24 start. No worries if that's a little too pricey for you, but and then we'll do the WX, the 06, the nice planchet, €10 Bavarian Forest. Do you know what, like, does it say, like, okay, I think I found it. Is it 49040? Is more probably what I was asking, like, in terms of the label, because that's how I can quickly figure out. And the 3 mark probably we start for about 27 as well. 49040. Sudden death is still on. Oh shoot, I forgot about the 3 mark. The 3 mark is right here. Very nice. It's almost proof looking. National Park Bayerischer Wald, referencing Bayern, which is southern Germany. Don't see these frequently. That one will be headed to Smallwood. And here we have Preußen, Kingdom of Prussia. $27 start. Could be an old clean on there, but nice eye appeal, absolutely. Oh, we also have a nice Swedish example. I don't think there was, no, Siege. I had sold the other one early, just a couple of moments ago. Here's a Gustav Krona. And then we got to get the 5 copex. The remainder of those, at least. Made good progress on them. Yeah, sounds good. Those are probably like $17 starts or so, G-Dizzle, just as that's up. Nice win, HID. $28. Gorgeous looking 1783 super reflective surfaces. Very nice looking coin. Here we've got a 5 kopek 1785. Beautiful example. Huh. Well, we'll have a couple left if we run the remainder. Let's see. People had asked for Hungarian. Yeah, geez, I was thinking about the Hungarian ones. Always popular. These have Christ and child on them, and they're nice. They have the specific date as well. This one will be 1540 example of Ferdinand I, a nice denier. Super pretty. Patrona. Ancients, sure, Amy Hayes. Are there any specific ones that you see? I have sold down a couple of my ancients already today, but there's some nice examples. Got a lot of, mostly have Roman today, a couple ancient Spanish. 1541, Ungari Patrona. Really, pleasing example. Again, this one's just a year later. Glapau, nice win. And then whatever catches your eye sounds good. And then I think, Alex, once there's 51, there's also a little bit earlier, would be a good place to do, would be 44. All the remainder are in 44. There's like probably 100.
WX.
Yeah, WX. There's like 100 uninventoried ones. Nice win for Adrian there. And once you, maybe at like 1250 or so, then I'll forward over a bunch of the, I'll get you all the flips so that you can flip those up pretty quick. All right, we've got a $25 start. Nice Do It 1784 New York penny. This one would have been minted in Utrecht, certified by NGC. Oh, yeah, sounds good. Philo Spectrum. Oh, did I miss 4528? That would totally be my bad. There it is. Brandon Farr. Snag that one at that 25. Then we'll get this one, and then we'll do two more requests. That one's a nice one from Utrecht. Would not be surprised to see this one. And there's so many different years and everything. But old Shipwreck look. 0612-3. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's a nice looking coin. Beautiful Roman type. And no bid on that one, huh? Well, let's do this request. 4528, then it's 49048. 27, no sudden death. 1910, German 3-mark coin. That's going to be 49-048. Oh, Zarland. I realized one of my good entrepreneurship, one of my professors is from Saarland, so I think I'm going to give that coin to him. But I have more 10 euro Commems that I'll be bringing next hunt. Or actually, Alex, we could, nice win, Philo Spectrum. Could you do you have any of the 49? Could you just hand me a couple of the 49, like, German Commems? I think they'd be in there. Or maybe they're in there. They're like larger silver coins, and I may just try to pull some for. And this one could be good for anybody. This is a nice old German collection. It's from Severus Alexander, bronze. This one should bid up. It's pretty nice. It's got a good reverse. It looks like maybe Mars on the reverse of it. Nice little.
German, right?
Yeah, it should. They're like from the 2000s. They're 10 euro Commems. It's gonna be WX49, like early WX49. Raw, not slabbed. Sounds good, Amy Hayes. Oh, $14. That's, I think, pretty affordable. I think that was a good win for Chris Osher. Let's see what else. Ancients. We've got some cool like Tetricus types, but they would have been struck likely by local barbarians. But they're still very nice in their appearance. And so here are some examples. And Tetricus was the last main ruler in the Gallic Empire. I can take a look as well. Javier in the lead on this one. And that one will go to Javier. And maybe I
Missaw it or missaw.
awesome. Yeah, we'll get a bunch more German Commems though shortly. Maybe could you pick out 6 of them? 6 different ones? This is cool. It's got a PES, so it's totally blundered, the reverse, which is quite popular because basically it shows that they don't really speak the language. And so they're just putting different characters on there kind of for fun. So those are always intriguing. Oh, that one's really nice. Republica. We'll go full 20 seconds on it. You can see in that case they did. Sure, that sounds great, Alex. They weren't on the right side. Exactly. They could have been the official ones had they, and all the other. You could have said, hey, congrats, Forrest. That's funny and very true. Oh, and this one's just beautiful. And it shows they also have interesting dies because this one had a very weak reverse die. Some of them would be pretty strong, but then the obverse is like fantastic. Take a look at how clear and nicely detailed it is. Super interesting. Easy. We'll win that one. Looks like there's a request around 45.29. What is that coin? Oh, interesting. A Bavarian 6 Kreuzer. $1 start it. There's some of the ancients that we have. Should bid up a little bit higher, but that'll be a good loss on mine. Good win for the buyer. Let's try some these East India Company. Sold a fair number today, but hadn't visited them recently. $28 start on it. And you can see interesting shipwreck toning. Both of these would have been found at the bottom of the ocean floor. Jay Dizzle will be the first bidder there. And these are always intriguing items. No problem, Prater. It's thanks for including Treasure Town in your Saturday. Let's run this one with a 28 start as well. This one has very clear, big 20 cash with interesting exposure. And then the bottom, the 10 cash also is really nice. So I think we've got not many more left for today's show here. Jay Dizzle will pick that one up. And then let's see where this one would go. WX. I may have to protect that one. Haven't done quite as hot on some of the 45 recently, but it would be 45.15. Sure, let's see. I'd be starting that one at like $14. Earlier Palatinate type. Nice win for Jim as well. And then I guess we got 2 more 28. This one. Always fascinating. And again, this one more, exposed, I would say, the elements. And then so basically, and are you in this doc here?
Yeah, I'm in
See if you can get into this one, the one that I texted you before, and then practice making the sheet. Does that make sense? Like the way that you might have done last time?
Oh, okay.
Looks like we do have one more of these, and I didn't realize that, and so I'm just gonna add a last one, RCI packaging number 13. Product type is non-US currency. It's going to be a 1 to 3 ouncer. And then we'll do the other German stuff. Yeah, this one is real nice. Again, last for today. Beautiful 20 cash on there. This one's more shipwreck looking, but super clear. Gotta run. Have a good one, Jim CC. This one could easily get to 40s, or maybe it won't. But yeah, and thanks for coming back on that Morgan situation. Here we've got the 4514. This would be $14 starts. Zweibrücken, 3 Kreuzer. Oh, I forgot to get the cool Polish Lithuanian. Try to snag some of that for the next show.
Does that look good?
Let me see. Yep, and if you want, you could delete out the other rows, and then you want to change this to say normal coin. That basically will, and you can always like copy and paste it down that row. Nice one, VS Hughes. Oh, that's actually a good point. Did the reward tiers expire? Because if they did, I should go get them and put them back. I really apologize if I. Okay, somehow I didn't notice that today, and I'm gonna put a note for myself right now to go get the reward tiers back up. Thank you for the call out. Condor tokens, Gabe, we're all out of Condors. I think I ran the 3, but we'll try to get some more back for next show. I think that would be real fun. This is either Swedish or Moldavian. Maybe. Yeah, that looks ready to. We got the normal coin, and then if you want to quickly delete out the rows of the RCI ones, that would be helpful as well, just so that I don't double upload them, because it'll take everything that's there. What was the question?
What do you mean about RCI?
Like, delete the ones in the top of the upload sheet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad on the reward front. Yep, that's perfect. Nice 1879 Morgan silver dollar. Nice lustrous example. And then let's see. Got some great. Oh, we do have some error types. These ones are interesting. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's do a bunch of German silver commemorators. Thank you so much to Alex, who will be running a show on Tuesday. We'll get those up not long from now. These are interesting. This is a Jaisalmer Dodia Paisa from India, 1660 to 1863. Kind of a less commonly seen Indian state, Indian town, and so really try to go to ends of the earth to figure out interesting and hard to find examples of items for people. Jay Dizzle. Nice win, though, closer to, and we'll probably start these at like 4. I only have 2 others that I have today. And yeah, they're pretty curious, and they're not things that I come across too frequently. The first time hearing of them was from a dealer that had offered me a couple of them recently, and I was like, hey, I'll take you up on it. This one's cool. It's got a lot going on. Very nice. And then let's see. Oh yeah, let's get those German uploads again. Thanking Alex for getting them all ready to go. Let's see. Nice win for Adrian. Congrats. Let's do. We got World Cup coins. What else do we have? 55, by the way. We have a couple of the Rajas of Bologna. We'll do, okay, this and then the German. $13 start. Regular game tokens. Oh yeah, we have some. We could do some of the British stuff from '92. Brandon gonna win that one, but we'll do that after some of the German silver, which I felt bad about forgetting. I feel like everybody's after nice Commems. This one's gonna be a World Cup example. And you can see the World Cup Fußball-Weltmeisterschaft Deutschland. We have the National Park in Wattenmeer. Maybe this was. And so, Alex, just so you know, basically it'll be 1 to 3 ounces is like a graded coin, whereas the normal coin will make it 1 to 3 ounces if it's their first order, and then 1 ounce if it's not, if that makes sense. So that's something that we had coded in. A national park, again, Wattenmeer, 10 euros, spending power around $12. Obviously, silver is going to be higher. And then let's try some of the game tokens if those ones are not hitting, which is totally fine. These would have been struck later, you know, maybe in the 1800s or so, but these dated to 1790, or this one's dated to 1768, I guess. And it says King George III de Gratia, in memory of the good old days. UK items. That one will go to J Mats. Chris Osher, sounds good. AC23. What is that coin? Can't exactly remember. This one's been hold, but we'll go 15 seconds, $5 start for J Mats. Oh yeah, the Conception sounds good. That's going to be like a 439, I think, situation. They're fantastic coins. 1798. It looks like Gabe Dog going to win that one. Let's see. We can do the other. Well, let's do the Conception, and we'll come back to the other one. Yeah, this is like a 439 start. Beautiful Conception Shipwreck. Gotta give it 30 seconds though. Cheaper than anywhere else available. 8 real. And awesome to have again that NGC Shipwreck encapsulation. It's fantastic. Clear Spanish cross, good Shipwreck planchet. Yeah, that's kind of got what I'd be looking for there. 23.29. Oh yeah, we got a nice silver Antoninus. Huh. Did I misupload it? Perhaps. Oh no, I think I put it in the wrong place. And then there's also some really nice like Constantinian types. This one is going to be like a 44 start. Nice Gordian silver Antoninus. I think my impression, I could be wrong, genuine, if they can't show that it's been from a certain shipwreck, but it's clearly sea salvaged, that would be sea salvaged. if it's clear provenance to somebody who like discovered the shipwreck, all right, I'd like to get this one offered. You know, that's probably where, you know, and they've got good shipwreck docs and they ask for some follow-up, then that'll get the shipwreck specifically. Genuine is going to be if they don't grade it. Stop motion animation, what do you mean by that? Like, is it just is it laggy? Curious if it's lagging for other people then as well. And where did I put the other nice ancients? Well, we'll run them after we do these two, some of these 1790 dated Spade Gaming token, $5 start. Again, that British tokens. No lag here. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Sorry, Richard, that it's giving you some issues. J Maths. This one's apparently, okay, 1701 dated. It says 1790 on whatnot, but it's 1701 dated, which is kind of cool. We'll do $1 start. Of George III. Not sure why they would date it to 1701, given that he would have been, I think, only ruling later. Know any professional coin cleaners? I feel like there's one person that I know that can do them, but I don't know that they're necessarily taking more business. I certainly haven't been, you know, doing much with them recently. But I feel like they do some like shipwreck types, like salvage is kind of their expertise. Here is a Gordian III XF Antoninus, which is gorgeous. Fides Militum, again an XF shape, really beautiful Gordian ant. Particularly, you know, shimmery, I would say. Some of the other types that we might have. There's our mix of the German Commems. What about over here? This is a nice looking Constantinian phallus with a reverse camp gate. No sudden death, but should, you know, doing $1 start just to see what the interest might look like. This is the Constantine the Great. We've got the camp gate reverse. Providentia, just fantastic looking Roman. Still back of where I paid for it, but I think likely moving higher. Brandon Farr. Nice win. And then this one has Christ portrait in front. Got a 39 start of Antonio Venero. Again, Christ staring right at us. So we didn't have the Byzantine types, but we do have an Antonio Venero with the Doge and St. Mark. Christ holding a Bible. You know, obviously much older coin. Let's see, we got some old French silver, some half écu that we could try. Tato, nice win. Let's see, I think we maybe have one other. Do we have another one? Maybe not. Well, if we find it, I'll offer. But here, this is going to be from an old French hoard, Saint-Thibault, which was, you know, really nice coin. This one's early 1700s, 1726. B mint mark. of Louis XV. So it's kind of like a big Jeton, except instead of being a Jeton, it would have actually been circulating. It has a little bit more silver, bit of heft to it. And the fleur-de-lis example. Oh, there's the other one. AC 23-30-01, Doge Antonio Venero. Very nice look to it. This one has, it's nice how clearly you can see Anto Venero on the side. And there's Gloria, there's the seated planchet. And I'm trying to think of other stuff. We have a couple of the Kelantan types. Islamic Malaysia. This would be like a $13 start. Beautiful script and a very large tin coin. So uncommon to see, this large. There's some other pitis which would have been like Indonesian, and maybe Palembang Sultanate, but this one is the Kelantan and much larger planchet. Still minted. What do you mean by that, Easy? We have one other of them. Nice example. We also have a bunch of like world silver. We have some Queen Victoria crowns starting for about 52. Super interesting. Brandon in the lead. And those ones will go to Brandon. And then let's see, 55. What? Okay, we have some fantastic rupees. $1922, sure. Beautiful 1920 AU Unk silver. And then we've got a couple of the half price. Let's see. I mentioned 1922. It's like a 59 start. $1603. No sudden death. You can see that date clearly up top by the cross. Henricus the fourth, and that 1/4 of an ecu. 140202, sure. I think those are like 25-ish starts. I can see that one definitely bidding up. 25 gets us back to break even. Nice slightly earlier example. Half crown. All right, and I'll just go for the start price. Let's see, 0206. $1875. Nice Britanniarum Regina. See if these can't jump up a touch. Let's see. 24. This is going to be the Jubilee head half crown. $1887. A little bit of cleaning. Richard Hunter be the winner there, and I think we've got one other Jubilee head. One started at a similar place. And then let's try oh, I love how there's the horse rider beneath it. I didn't even notice. Trampling the dragon. Here we've got a nice, really good shape 1/10 penny of British West Africa from 1939. Has the Star of David, and it says 1/10 of a penny. Very interesting. That one will go to JMats. And then this last one, we'll maybe do a $5 start, 15 seconds, last of these for today. Brandon Farr, yeah, very nice and uncirculated. Older gaming tokens, is there any that you see? I would say maybe take a look through and tell me if you see one. I'm not sure that we have any more. Brandon will win that. Trying to think, we've got a couple of the, 2 of these left. 550304. These would be about $16 starts, which would break even. I think we sold 2 earlier today. Tougher date, very lustrous 1921s. King and Emperor. Richard Hunter. We'll get that one, and then this one is the last one that I brought today. Sold all the others. A half Pius of India. And it's British India, right in the middle of his reign. That one will not go. Let's see. While we're on this, Indian types generally, we could do this nice Raja of Baglana. AD 102202. Let me find it. Let's see. Yeah, sure. That's a nice looking coin too. Oleg's gonna win that coin. 102202. All right, we'll do this one for $49. 20 seconds, no sudden death. Virtus, Augustus, Philippus. Very nice looking Antoninus, I would say. Definitely attract a couple more bids, but it will go to Chris Osher at 49. Let's see, if there's interest, we could do some of these nice, Campgate, Phallus. This one's Constantine II while he's ruling as Caesar, minted in Constantinople, it looks like. Very, very nice. Constantinus Yun Jr. Nob, the good Caesar. That one also going to head Chris's way. Let's see. Constantine the Great. Campgate Phallus. Providentia. Oh, that one's really nice, actually. Good portrait of Constantine. and with that camp gate on the back, and it'd be competed over pretty well. And then our last but not least camp gate, Constantine the Great Phallus in back of it. What else should we offer? Let's see. Yeah, is there interest in nice US? There's nice. We have a couple of Russian types. We've got some big écus. There's some half écus. What stands out to people? This one's a beautiful looking silver dollar, 1884 O. Probably put this one at 49 start, no sudden death. See where it lands. Super lustrous silver. Minted down in New Orleans. They opened New Orleans 1838. I believe it closed around 1908, 1909, something like that. I think at least 1909. Maybe a little after. If anybody knows, let me know. Bar Micah says that's your first purchase. Congrats. Let's see if there's other. We have some nice. We didn't get into the half dimes at all. I don't think that they're super cheap, but again, all the examples that we have are quite nice. Paid 33, so I'd be looking for 39. And I think this is with arrows, probably about as inexpensive for like zero issues type coinage that you could find. This would have been pre-Civil War, early time, prior to the nickel that the U.S. would have been striking. 8 reals, M4 Life. We've got some great 8 reals if you're looking for that. But they're a little bit more on the pricier side. Conception, Shipwreck, 430. We could do this one's a little bit tougher, I'd say. Maybe at like 4. Let me just make sure. I think I could maybe do like 409 on this one. About 20% less than eBay's lowest example. Great Mexican 8 reals coin with a Shipwreck Jack Sparrow. I don't want to lie and say, but this is true Shipwreck history. You can see the Mexican crest real well. Some good evidence showing that it was definitely salvaged there. Here we've got a little half real. Paid 50 on this one, so I'm gonna try to get 59 for it, so I can make about $4. This one's dated specifically 1676. It's nice that you actually have the specific date there on this little half, but likely more affordable piece of super old Spanish Empire, Spanish colonial history. Those will stay with us. Let's see, this one's Choice VF Trajan Denarius. NGC Choice VF. The lowest that I'm seeing, now this one is brushed, is, well, there's a VG for 200. I think if I'd offer this one at 199 or even 189. It's got a great reverse. Looks like, can't tell if that's Mars or exactly who it is, but a beautiful Trajan. And then why don't we Okay, that one did sell. Let's see. Only got a few more of the 5 copex. I also have some cool, like, this one's in great shape. 1786, excuse me. Brandon Farr, 5 copeck. Nice win. Here we've got a 1788. Just fantastic level of detail. I like how this one has almost a chunk taken out of it. And I think we've got one more and that'll be it on the 5 copeck front. Let's see, 28, 1785, Big Pappy, nice win. Let's see, are there any other ones that stand out that people want to check out? This one is a Magdeburg Commem, 1200 years of it. 40, this would be a 24 start. Strong Barbarian Strikes, let me check it out, easy. I'm not sure exactly what we've got left down from that group. This one's 2005, again, 1200 years, commemorating about 805 for the prior formation. This looks like our last of the barbarous types. We also have some seemingly non-barbarous examples. Looks like a Pax. I'll let you be the judge on how strong of a strike. I wouldn't say that it's anything crazy, but it's pretty nice, and you can see, you know, what looks like an attempt at saying Imp Tetricus. There's the Pax. Relatively, you know, well hammered out strike. That one will go to easy. Then we also have some nice, you know, this one does not look barbarous, basically. Maybe we'll do $1 start just to be adventurous. And that one also has Pax on the reverse, but seems to be, you know, more of an official Romano-Gallic style from about 1700 years ago and currently in the low single digits. Wow, nice win, easy. We've got a couple more from that group, but they're probably gonna have to start in like that, you know, 14 range. Here's a Gallienus. Actually going to be a zoo type coin. 14, no sudden death, because zoo is often pretty exciting for people. Beautiful, beautiful coin. You know, nicely bearded Claudius Augustus. And then on the reverse, so, you know, I'm not sure what the X would have been referring to. J Mats. We'll snack that one. The ask was on 560506. Sure, let me just check what those go for, basically. 19 quarter, FS 101, PCGS. May not be tons of room on it for me. Let's see what I... So you can get one on eBay, but it's not attributed. So the first attributed one that comes up is going to be $54.95. There's an unattributed one for $44. I was planning on selling this one for like $47 or so. Nice variety. We also have a couple errors left, and then a couple of, Mint State Morgan dollars too. Nice win. Let's think of other coins here. US error coins. We have a couple of them, but not too many. But the ones that we have are pretty sweet, and I'd sell them for just a little bit more than what I paid. We've got some nice off centers, and then we have a waffle and a blank planchet. So the blank planchet, I'd start around 12. This is a dime, which is nice, so a little bit tougher to find. A waffle, it's basically, there's been an issue with the planchet, and so they destroy the planchet and with something that makes it look like a waffle. So again, nice clad blank dime, and you can see that it's definitely not just a washer. It has that copper tinge on the outer portion of it. Here's the waffle. I have to start this one at around 22. Canceled by the mint. Find that one pretty interesting. Not something that you see all the time. I think I only brought one of these today. But very fascinating. Waffled coins, again, that's what they're called. Nice win for Adrian. And then let's try, we've got two of these. 2,000, these would be like, I guess the prices on these have gone up a little bit. Beautiful Unk off center. It's actually pretty well off center, but from 2000. Nice looking coin. And I think that they had a lot more control at the mint after 2000. I think it was like 2001 or 2002. They totally clamped down, which is pretty interesting, I'd say. And then right here we've got -01, 1999 off center. This one would be $20. I'm probably going to end in like 5 minutes, so if there's anything that you're particularly after, I would definitely get the request in. Do we have any more? Oh, we actually have a decent number of Jetons. But maybe not that many. Trying to think if to close things out, if there's anything in particular. Don't have it. Oh, the Lucius Verus NGC? Sure. Well, let's do it way back of anything that's on eBay right now. Well, hopefully we can do that. Lucius Verus NGC VF. Right now, the lowest on eBay, there's a, no, it's a tetragram. I don't see a single one of these in VF. One sold for $270, and then somebody accidentally put one up for like $96 in a vault box, sold immediately. Let's just type in, if it was just NGC, a choice find sold for $162. and a VF, you know, I would say my thinking here would be like, yeah, that 159 range. And we'll do those Tetricus coins as well, or maybe 149. No sudden death. And yes, why don't we do both of those? We'll do all the Tetricus, Claudius. That's going to be Pax, shows Pax underneath of it. Nice one for Carl Will. Here are these two. These are a little bit more expensive. I'm just going to put that out there. Let me just figure out exactly where we need to get to here. It looks like about a 56, 57 start would be the place to be for me. 1690. Mother and child on there. Austria Thaler. I don't have any Austrian Thalers right now, but this is a nice 15 Kreuzer. Does not shock me to see it getting some extra bids there. And we'll see how far it bids up. The Japanese sounds good. Be happy to get those. It sounds like we got a little ancient onslaught, and then will be, you know, I said I would get that Tetricus 1 and 2, but I've pulled both of those 20 sen for us. Here's the other 15 Kreuzer, nice big Austrian type. Brianna Lee. Congrats. This is a pretty nice, you know, these bid high. Tetricus the second is tough to get. And so, you know, see where that one lands. Super nice coins though. He's not bearded like his father, who we see here, Tetricus the First. Very nice. That one is a good Salus reverse. And we even have a nice Claudius Gothicus as well. So we got some great examples here. Super nice coins. Don't see him all the time at all. Nice win for Dirk. Congratulations. Here's a Claudius. Victoria, really firm and nice reverse. It's just and a little bit of silvering left. Shame that there's a little bit of a hit to the planchet on the bottom. But really nice type. And a super clear Victoria. Again, reverse. J Dizzle at 9. I think that's a good scoop of the day. All right, then the other requests seem to be the Japanese ones here for J Dizzle. These would be like $7, sudden death. 20 sen coins. Meiji. That was a Meiji restoration right after. Hey Miller, Spencer. Meiji restoration right after the Tokugawa shogunate goes down. Nice win for Jay Dizzle. And then right here we've got 20 sen coins. HID. There's also we have a couple of other ones. We have a Taisho, nice win. Taisho 10 sen in quite decent shape. And then we can maybe do a last shogunate. Gabe Dot. Greek bronzes. I don't have Pete the Greek, any Greek bronzes, but they're fantastic. Been pivoting a little more towards the world, but we have a couple of ancients. We have some Spanish bronzes actually. Nice win for Jay Dizzle. Castulo. These are a little more expensive though. It looks like there's some kind of like almost a maybe a bull or something like that on there. I'd be asking 59 on this one. No sudden death, but yeah, ancient Spanish. Early 1st century BC, kind of in the time in between. We get some from Augustus and Tiberius, a lot of ancient Spanish. Super chunky silver. And then here we have Cartea. I would say this has a cool dolphin on the back that I forgot about. Actually quite cool. Any more arrowheads? I'm not, but I want to say Driftwood Thrifting has some cool arrowheads that might have, on whatnot. Here we can drop this a little bit. Again, I think it's tough on the eye peel, but it is a cool, like, again, bullhead. Driftwood Collectibles. Yes. Maybe I'll hang on to this one. That was a really fun one. I enjoyed it a bunch. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in conclusion. We could run a couple of these duets, but I'm going to probably call it a wrap soon. Holland Mint. Silver denarius. We've got a couple graded denarii. Nice NGC genuine New York penny. Nice slabbed coin, 1750. Tiffany leading on these. Nice win. Got a couple more here that we could run. Let's see, 1737 this time. We got 164. Thrifters, that's a good point. I guess does it describe the coin selling community probably pretty well. Nice win. Again, Alex is going to be running a show on Tuesday. Probably 120 items, something like that. 1786. Let's see, we only have 2 more of these after this one. Trying to keep it inexpensive. Driftwood coins and collectibles, fantastic. That one will go to Tiffany. Here we've got a nice duet. And then this one's 1786, and I think there's one last one from 1735.
Christian, did you want to run the Denmark? Like 1 kroner or 2 kroner coins? Or?
Sure, which one are those? Are they with me?
Yeah, they're at the very end.
Okay.
Like highest number.
Let's check them out.
They're like low vintage, probably like 3 or 4 million.
Last of these duets, we'll try a couple of Danish coins that Alex had gotten ready. Denmark. Oh yeah. We got a nice Danish mix. In the meantime, here we'll pull a couple of those. We'll also get. We got and some fairly sizable Danish silver. And so we'll kind of work our way back. We'll start with some of these 1 krone. Start it for maybe $9. See where it bids to. All the way back from 1875. Have the dolphin there. There's Christian the 9th. Have a good one, Easy. 80% silver. Yeah, nice 1900s item. And we'll make $1. Congrats to Gabe. We'll do this example as well. Always try to get different interesting types of silver in. Oh shoot, it says 2 kroner. This is actually a 1 kroner, Brandon. HID, I'll just call this one out. I ran the wrong. Is it okay, HID, that this is a 1 kroner coin? Just want to call out that's what's going on at the moment here. I'm happy to cancel it, but I just want to confirm with you that the 1 kroner is okay instead of a 2 kroner. Sounds good. We'll get that over to you. We'll run the 2 kroner next. It'll be in the wrong flip, but hopefully that'll be okay. This one is going to be okay, this one's actually a 2 kroner. Start this one for about $17. It's the one larger one that we had today. And then we'll get into some like more silver type examples. Brandon Farr in the lead there. Congratulations. Nice win at 23. Let's see. This one here is going to be it says that the payment didn't go through there. No problem. You can always rerun it. Feel good about that one's value. This one would be probably about a 16 start. And if it doesn't go through, just given that there are a bunch of bids on it, I can always, well, you're cool about the other one, so no worries. We'll hold it free for a while. Brandon Farr leading on this one. Nice win for Brandon. We've got 1960. This one's a cool one. $18 start. 5 kroner, a little bit larger, I think. Silver wedding anniversary with some kind of cool toning. A little bit of fiery, like orange look to it. Brandon in the lead. We'll see. Somebody else comes in with outbid. Doesn't look like it. Then we've got the throne accession. This one's like $19. Solid 10 kroner of Queen Margaret II. Monolithic, how's it going? Any cool metals? I could do one of them. I feel like a lot of the metals that I brought are now, what's it called? And here's a 1 kroner. Run it for $9. This one is actually a 1 kroner as well. Yeah, we have some cool. I'll do like one of them, maybe an Argentinian type. Not really positive on the value of it, but it's something interesting that I don't see very frequently. Dollar start, 1926, curious shape, fascinating, and it looks like it's really like Beaux-Arts style with a flower and snake and club. Really interesting. 1926 Argentinian Municipalidad de Buenos Aires Reconstrucción de Hospital Rawson, the Rawson Hospital reconstruction. Marcelo de Alvear, and just really interesting metal. It's not the sort of item that comes across my desk with any frequency. 1800s round metals. Well, we can run one. Why not? And yeah, sure. Let me snag the Canadian one. Didn't even know that we had it. A cool merchant token. Actually, there's plenty of there's a lot of types that we haven't even tried. Importers of hardwares, Montreal, T.S. Brown and Co. And we can try the Russian as well, de Bunyard. Actually, if I can find it. I'm not seeing it right in front of me, but I can run a different ruble. Also kind of want to try this. We had a couple of really nice half cents. That would be like an 89 start or so. Gabe Da, nice win. 84 maybe. Nice looking, again, US half cent. You can see all of the Liberty, and it's just got a very nice appearance. Nothing wrong with the coin. You know, nice chocolatey brown. Good type. US type coin. And here's a ruble. Somehow I couldn't see the other one that you were looking at, but it'd be a $40 start. 1898 Tsarist. And that may close us out for today. There's a little hit in the side there. Actually, we'll have to do a dollar start coin to wrap things up here. That sounds like a good one to wrap things up. And Philo Spectrum. I have Philo. I did bring a couple more German types. Maybe we could do 23. You don't need to purchase them, but I felt bad that I didn't have. That Saarland one was going to go to my old German Saarland professor. 1812, one Skilling Dansk. Actually quite nice. You know, has good luster and clearly struck, well struck up. Super nice win for Brandon. And let's try, here's a Bertha von Suttner, Commem, German Die Waffen Nieder, €10. Nobelpreis Bertha von Suttner. And so that one will probably close us out. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And I'll see you guys soon. Let's find somebody to raid and look forward to Alex's show shortly. Have a good one. Bye bye.